You're listening to My Grito Podcast Network, celebrating the culture of Chicanos and Latinos one story and voice at a time. Listen to more My Grito Podcast Network shows over at mygrito.net. Connect on social, on Instagram and Facebook at My Grito, the My Grito Podcast Network.
3, 2, 1. What's up, guys? Welcome to another Mind Buzz. Is that what we just...
You said in the car that you didn't want to say episode.
Yeah,
and that's where
true.
you went. But it's an episode.
Yeah, it's an episode. I'm having another episode again.
Like
a psychotic.
session, right?
this evening. Welcome to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. We got a special treat for you. But before that, we got some stuff that we need to take care of. Just, real quick. So if you go to the Mind Buzz on Instagram, we are doing a giveaway for My Grito's 3rd year anniversary, which is going to be a meet and greet with the one and only Amber and Chicano Shuffle. I will be doing my thing at the bar. What else do we got?
Come hang out with us.
Yeah, come hang out with us.
I don't
chillax,
like meet and greet.
take some pictures. Instagram, Google, TikTok, all that stuff with Amber. But we will be there at Hello Stranger LA this weekend on Saturday, right? September 23rd?
On Saturday, September 23rd, come out and see some really cool bands. What's going on here? This thing. And hang out with us. Come say hi. Get interviewed by us. If you ever want to be on the podcast, this is your time on Saturday.
This is your 5 seconds to fame. To hang out with us. But we have that going on. We're doing a giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
Just go to our Instagram account. Go to @themindbuzz on Instagram. You'll see it's right there. It's pinned on the first thing on our IG thing. So, what else do we got?
What happened? You had a brain fart or what?
Yeah, I forgot what it was called.
Forgot where you were at or
The
what?
mezcal is kicking in. The motelada. Sipping the motelada kicking in.
Dang, you haven't had any of that, huh? Motelada, what's up?
No. I know. Motelada, what's up? What's going on?
Send us some motelada.
Send us some motelada, please. But yeah, go to our Instagram, enter our giveaway. All you have to do is just follow 4 accounts. And we're not going to watch. Just follow us and then just delete us after like a week. It's fine.
No, don't delete us.
I'm joking. But go ahead and do that. You will win 2 tickets to the event on Saturday. Also a t-shirt from the Mind Buzz. Also a t-shirt from My Grito. A t-shirt from Maria Sanchez. And
a signed LP from Maria
signed
Sanchez.
LP from Maria Sanchez.
And a beer glass from
Chicano Shuffle.
Yeah. So go enter. Bye.
Go enter. That's all you got to do. All right. Without further ado, our guest, ladies and gentlemen, is the Zombillyz from San Gabriel, California.
From outer space.
From outer space.
From outer space.
There we go.
What is up?
What's up, guys? Thanks for coming out and doing this. I appreciate it. They also played at one of the Mind Buzz's open mics, which that was awesome, dude.
That was tight.
Yeah.
That was
That was
cool.
tight.
It was pretty fun. Yeah, it was really cool.
The Florico Dancers was a cool little twist to it, honestly. Dude, I'm a hip hop head, so I loved the poetry aspect of it, 100%. And then the fact that there was a couple live music there, like a band musicians. And the Florico, it was a really cool, complimenting little mix.
Yeah, it was a mixture of a lot of things.
We like to do a variety show, you know?
Yeah.
Well, next time we're gonna come up and fuck with everybody's mind and just present ourselves with the instruments, and then we're just gonna do stand-up comedy.
There
You
we go.
should. You know, one of the Florico dancers is our barista, actually. She works
Hey.
there with us.
Oh, that's
so.
cool.
Yeah. She danced on her break. I'm like, what are you doing out here? Get back
We're like, hurry up!
in line.
We're gonna learn how to dance folklorico, dude. We have to.
So you guys been in the psychobilly scene forever, I feel like, dude. I remember in high school just seeing your guys' name on the flyer, Tony.
That's really cool.
So how how did this all start for you in psychobilly? Like it's one thing, right? That I feel that psychobilly is just it's a part of a person. I don't know how to explain. Is that weird?
I'm glad you said that because it is. I mean, for me,
speaking to the mic there.
For me, it's like, all right, I started playing music like at 13, 14. And, by chance, my bestest friends in, junior high or whatever, learned how to play music because we wanted to start a band and we all played guitar. And it's like, hey, you know what? We need a bassist. Learn how to play bass. We need a drummer. I'll play drums. And yeah. We've been playing for 20 years now. That's crazy. That's 20 years that we've been playing. Dude. And we were kids. So back in the day, we were the only band playing with all the bands that we listened to. Os Catalepticos, Asmodeus. We were on the bill with all those bands. And we were the only kids doing that. So it was pretty cool. So now I kind of like to have that same, it's basically Zombillyz is a story, basically it's a story of fucking rocking the fuck out, and it was from a different age. When we were doing it, it was a whole different scene, and I feel like I want to continue having that. And this is our new lineup: Richie on bass. Sorry, Richie on bass, Stitch on drums. I haven't even had much, But yeah, it's a lot of this stuff. But yeah, so I feel like. Definitely, we've been doing it forever, and because we were doing it forever when we were kids, we started doing it young, so rock and roll hit us very young. So we got distracted easily at 19, so we were already doing it for a long time, that we kind of, we split up, and I never stopped playing music, and it never got to evolve as much as I wanted it to. And now with this new lineup, I feel like, we have the same attitude, we all have the same attitude, we all have the same drive, and already we're already coming up with new stuff, so this is where it's going to go the farthest, This is what I want for this name. So, yeah.
So, tell me, do you remember the first time that you heard psychobilly, and do you remember saying, "What the fuck is this"?
Definitely.
If you don't mind.
Yeah.
The first time I actually seen Zombillyz was when I must have been 14 or 15 years old, and this is 2004, 2003, 2004, and it was at a American Nightmare 3. It was a huge psychobilly festival in Pomona at the Glass House. Oh. And one of the first bands, one of the openers was the Zombillyz. And I remember me and my buddies, I'm from the Monterey Bay, which is, NorCal. Okay. And so we drove all the way down to Pomona for the weekend. And I remember seeing these guys play, Tony and his band at the time. And they were young kids like us, so we were able to relate. And like, hey, you remember that one band, Zombillyz? Is that what they were called? Dude, they fucking blew us away because they were so young, and so were we. We were like the youngest kids there. Everyone else was like, older people. And these guys were just fucking killing it. Amazing guitar, good bass, drums was just fucking blew us away. That's yeah.
That's fucking cool.
And it's funny, years later, I kind of, I don't know, run into him again on Instagram, or Zombillyz actually, and reached out and talked a little bit, and I think I just said something
I think his
hey, you guys were fucking awesome, and
we partied. That's all we did. Like we hung out as friends. We were just and we had a fun night. And then the next day I called him. I was like, we woke up in the same bed, and I was like, man, you want to be in a band together? And that's how we started.
He's like, band or bed?
No, I did get a phone call from Tony. I did get a phone call from him, and he asked me if I wanted to join the band. He was looking for a drummer, and I said, dude, this is fucking amazing. I've been looking for a band for a long time.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was a drummer until like later the night that we were partying. He's like, hey, you know what? Listen to something. And I was like, that was my band. And I was like, what? And you play drums? And I kept that in mind. I was like, he's a cool cat. And
yeah, played psychobilly in NorCal too.
Yeah. Oh, really?
So, yeah, that's
what band?
At the time we were called Old Rusty Cobra, and it was a good project at the time. Yeah, back when I was 19.
And you played drums back then too?
Yeah, stand-up drums, yes.
Gotcha.
See, that was something, I don't know if you remember me.
Don't embarrass me.
I'm not going to, what am I going to embarrass you? No, when I said the day of the show, when I said, I've never seen anybody play the drums standing up. Remember, I think I told you.
Yeah.
Really?
I remember that.
I said, and then you guys said, "Oh, that's like the original way of
like the rockabilly style."
Yeah, the rockabilly style of playing it.
Like some post-punk bands do that too. Industrial
Oh, really?
rock bands do that as well. Jesus and Mary Chain do that. And one of the, I guess, most popular drummer would be, or stand-up drummer would be Slim Jim Phantom, you know? He's like, you know, all time. I'm sure every stand-up drummer
is there like I don't want to say science behind it, but is there something that like changes like kind of the sound or the way of it playing standing up versus sitting down?
Punk rock or goth. When I play standing up, I want to play surf, rockabilly.
I think it's like a whole attitude.
Yeah,
it's like an attitude about it. You know,
something changes. You know what I mean? So definitely.
Who else was
Did I embarrass you?
No. Who else was a good stand-up drummer? The dude from the Chop Tops?
Oh, you know what? My band back in the day played with them a couple times.
Really?
Santa Cruz. So they're NorCal as well. Bay Area.
Yeah.
Chop Tops is Sinner.
Yeah, we played Chop Tops.
Sinner.
You know what is exciting, dude? A lot of these bands are coming back.
Calavera's coming back. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Calavera's coming back. Thank you, Richie, for...
Sorry about that. Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
I remember, right? Whenever we're talking about it, talking to the mic. But yeah, that's what's cool. But I'm noticing that now. It's like, these are the guys that we played with when we were kids. So now that they're coming back, it's like, wow, a lot of people didn't appreciate these bands. And now that they're coming back, it's like, that's kind of cool because they definitely know who we are.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's just... everything's making like clockwork.
The cosmos are aligning.
Yeah,
exactly. So new lineup, new sounds. We're going out there, and now the old school guys are coming back, and we have a spot among them. You know, so that's it's exciting. 3
Bad Jacks are coming back. The Rockets, all the main headliners back in the early 2000s are coming back in place. Yeah.
What about for you, Richie? When was the first time you? Because you said you're hip hop, right?
Yeah. So like, I really never cared about music until I was about 13. I went into my sister's room to use her laptop, opened it up, and it was to an artist named Slug, and he's in a duo called The Atmosphere. Everybody, underground hip hop Atmosphere. So like, the album was God's Bathroom Floor, and it was just it's an ugly white dude. So like, stereotype of hip hop is a blinged out, black guy. Everybody knows hip hop. Black people like own pretty much hip hop. So like, I see who's this ugly white guy?
They own rock and roll, dude.
And like, I listened to it, and it just fucking blew me away. And from then on, that just kind of like sparked my love for music. Was underground hip hop. Until this day, like, I'm a hip hop head no matter what. Like,
so I like a couple hip hop songs coming out.
I like ska. I like oldies. I like fucking. I like all kinds of shit. But like, underground hip hop was what started it. And then going into high school, I got really into like fucking 60s rock, like the Kinks, the Animals, Van Morrison, the Zombies, Simon and Garfunkel, all that shit. And then fucking I got into psychobilly. First time I saw psychobilly, I don't know what the fuck it was. I just thought it was rockabilly. I was at a bowling alley. I was like fucking 14, and my dad came out. He's like, Antonio, you gotta see this. God, you gotta see it. Come here, it's crazy rockabilly. And I'm like, I don't care. Come on, just check it out. And it was in La Habra. It was at the 13th Frame. And it was either narrowed it down to 2. It was either the P Brains or the Grims. And at the time, I just thought like, fuck, this crazy ass rockabilly. And fuck, what is that, like 2?
It's so crazy, it's psychobilly.
Yeah, exactly. So like 2 years later was when I actually kind of got an ear for it. And I was listening to psychobilly for about a year before I knew what psychobilly was. I just thought it was modern hard rockabilly. So I was listening to like, like, of course, big bands like Guana Bats and Batmobile and like Chop Tops, fucking Crewmen, other bands like Spinballs, just stuff like that. Los Gatos Locos, I love Los Gatos Locos, just like, I was listening to all that before, and then I heard the term psychobilly, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And, doing some research online, I found that it's a whole other scene, and I'm like, damn, this is crazy. And I'm 25. Like, I'm a youngin'.
You're young.
He's a kid.
What?
Yeah, so,
Give me that. Give me that mezcal.
So, like, when I was like 16, 17. And, like, that was when I finally coined I heard the term psychobilly. Yeah. And I just fell in love with it because, like, it sucks. It sucks at the time I got in. It was already starting to go downhill. Yeah. Because, psychobilly goes in waves. And when I got in 2016, 17, the backyard psychobilly scene was already starting to die. And like, now at this time, there's not a lot of young kids. You know, like the young kids now, like fucking listen to like hardcore, fucking gore grind. That's
what's out there right
bullshit.
now that's
A lot of the young kids like gore grind. A lot of the young kids like fucking hardcore. I don't like that shit, to be honest. Like I like 80s hardcore, 80s OC hardcore. That shit's way different than modern hardcore now. But like that's what the kids are into nowadays.
Gotcha. What do you think about this new? It's like I don't know how to explain it. I'm trying to kind of like you know who the Growlers are, right?
Yeah.
Do you know that style, that beach goth type of there's a lot of more indie bands that are following it.
I would still say you're right. Like it is indie, you know, in a way, but it has little taste in like surf or like western kind of. I know what you're talking about.
Have you? I don't know how to like really weird. Pinpoint it, but it's like, oh, this is.
You can't, but it kind of falls in line. Like
this is good.
I would be surprised if Growlers were in a Psychobilly like
that
variety show.
Because when I first heard the Growlers, it must have been in 2015. I was a little late to the game.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
To be honest, man, when I fucking heard that band, it gave me hope for a future for good music. And I almost like get a little emotional about it because, you know, for a long time, it's like, fuck, music is dead.
His nipples are hard right now.
Damn.
There's no good bands. And
is your elbow okay, Tony?
Hey, I wouldn't be worried about my nipples, man.
Oh, there you go.
But when I heard the Growlers, they kind of, again, gave me hope for the future, dude.
No, absolutely. I'm in the same boat with
Brooks
you.
Nielsen.
Yeah.
Some Mesa buddies.
Yeah, they're really good. And I fell into them around the same years you did, 2015, 16. Yeah. But that was when like after their height of popularity was going down. Right. But we just
fucking shitty that they're canceled right now, huh?
Are they?
Are they?
Burger Records,
yeah, that's right.
the record label they were under, Burger Records, got some shit thrown on them for fucking.
Oh no!
Can you look that up?
A bunch of like
fiddling with underage children.
Oh no!
Yeah, but it wasn't not the Growlers, but I
their
did hear
label.
about
A
that.
bunch of bands, dude, under that label.
Right.
Well, it's all speculation now, right?
Perfect, right there.
Can you look it up?
Yeah.
Burger what?
Burger Records out of Fullerton.
See, that was red flag right there. Burger Records. I don't want to be like, you know, if I'm at a label company, I want it to be something like
Grilled Cheese Records or something.
Yeah, there we go.
It's like enchilada records.
Something.
A fucking pastor tacos. Or
You know, like
something bomb.
when 2015, you said you got into it, like so that was like my senior year of high school, and
I was like yesterday.
fucking.
Oh, there we
like,
go.
Around that time was when that kind of music was really. That was what the kids at that time were into. They were into that kind of like psychedelic shit.
That was all SoCal shit. Again, at that time, I'm NorCal, so NorCal had its whole different scene. You know?
Really?
What was
But
it over there?
SoCal kind of took over, dude. Like that's why I moved out here because the music scene and art scene.
Plus,
and
the zombies are out here.
everything.
You know,
is
Of course.
SoCal.
So what does it say? The record and video store co-owned by Borman and Brian Flores was opened in 2009. The label ceased operations in July 2020 following sexual assault allegations leveled at many of their artists and staff members.
that's some
Dang, not just the staff, but also their artists
dude.
too.
and
Yeah.
staff members.
It's crazy. You know, back in the day, Kiss era,
Yeah.
this shit would never fucking happen, dude.
No.
You know what I mean? This is like woke culture now.
Yeah.
And
It's,
the
it's,
social
I think it's
media
more
is kind of-
sensitivity.
Sure,
culture
but
now,
I mean, you know, I'm sure fucking a lot of crazy fucked up shit happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now people can't get away with anything anymore.
How was the scene in NorCal with Psychobilly?
Psychobilly scene.
Because you mentioned you moved down because of the music.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
There's not much going on. I lived up in NorCal for 30 years. You know, next week is my 34th birthday, and I needed a change.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you so much. I needed a change, and that change was in 2020 in COVID.
Yeah.
That's when I moved to SoCal, and everything kind of skyrocketed. Like the quality of my life, everything was fucking.
Yeah.
You know,
You
where I need to be.
You probably had like a SoCal heart, you know, living in
I think
NorCal.
so. I mean, we'd always come out here to LA and party and then go back. Like,
He definitely has the
Yeah.
SoCal chonies on you.
that means no chonies.
So for someone like, okay, so all 5 of us here, right? into rockabilly, psychobilly since high school. We know what it is. We know the sound, everything, right? But for some of our listeners that maybe are like, what the fuck are you guys talking about, right? What would you guys describe psychobilly as? Like what kind of genre in music, or what kind of, like, how would you describe it if somebody asked you?
Rockabilly on meth and heroin and all the above.
For me, I feel like it's like if you like weird shit, like, you know, like most of us did zombie movies and things like you know, that kind of cult culture, you know, where it's like if you like that kind of stuff, you like rock and roll. It's like a kind of like a nostalgic rock and roll in a sense, where it's like a classic. You can't go wrong with this kind of. That's what I consider psychobilly, where it's like that's psychobilly because it's a little weird. But it's rock and roll, you know, just a little weird.
You could even simplify it by saying it's like rockabilly gone punk, you know, in a way.
Yeah.
To simplify it, but it's a lot more than that for sure.
I used to describe it as like a horror movie, Western meets punk rock.
Yeah,
bro. You know what the words that you're saying? It's funny because I always picture myself like when people said, "What are you?" I'm like, you know what? I want to be the band that you hear in a Quentin Tarantino movie. Like I want to be that, to make those kind of sounds. I want to make that. You know, I want to make this scene, and that's what I always pictured for myself. Well, like that's what kind of music I want to make.
Yeah,
and yeah, that is psychobilly. Yeah.
If I may, I mean, like I said, again, I'm the youngest of the band. You know, I'm the youngest in this room, but you know, I'm fairly new to psychobilly. So what I take on it is like it's rockabilly based music. It's rockabilly based music at the core. It's rockabilly, but there's influences of, like you said, Western. There's influences of, you know, like some folk, some bluegrass. Faintly here and there, like a lot of the big names, you don't get much of those obscure genres. It's mostly just rockabilly punk. Like he said, it's just punk and rockabilly. But, like the reason why psychobilly came about was because it's from England, right? So like, in England in the 80s, there was fucking crazy political turmoil. And a lot of the punks got fucking tired of this chaos in the punk scenes and the different rock scenes. They just got tired of this chaos. So like, you know, like the Teddy Boys, the English rockabillys, they kind of like were big. It was a big scene back then. And, you know, like I wasn't around, but just, I love history and I love speaking to people. So like, I always try to talk to people who are older just to get like, I just love history. So like from what people have told me was that like a lot of the people went to psychobilly because it was kind of a break from the chaos and the hierarchy of punk, but also from the hierarchy and this like very cookie cutter way of rockabilly, because back then I guess rockabilly was like the scene of rockabilly was very cookie cutter and it was hierarchy.
Rebellious, I guess you could say. I mean, I get that part of it. This is like the bookworm of the band. So like, you know, if you want the entire history of the United States or whatever,
let's say the biggest psychobilly scene is in Japan. Is that
okay?
Right.
So
is that true?
So at one point there was like, so I've been to Japan twice, going next year. Right. The Japanese psychobilly scene is incredible. Does not
it's off the chain.
Does
bro.
not compare to here.
We went in November, and we went just like, well, not just to go see, but our objective was to go see the psychobilly scene.
Mm-hmm. And how would you guys think of it?
It was fucking bad,
right? It's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Go there.
Yeah, we seen the Cyclops.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
But fuck, man, like the scene in Japan is great. You know what? Like it's a lot of people hate on fucking certain genres of music because there's no like youth in it. But like even like there's not a whole lot of young like kids in the Japanese psychobilly scene, but they're way more lively than us here. Even way more lively than the kids here.
They carry the classic American rockabilly like spirit, you know?
You know, I was in for a treat. I think we both were, because we went. So the place that we went to is called Heavy Sick.
Yeah, it's Club Heavy Sick.
Have you been there?
Yep.
So, you know, we get there. We don't know where the fuck we're at. The man drops us off. No one speaks English. And he's like, yeah, you're right here. So we're looking for it. It's underground. We go underground, and it's tiny.
Yep.
Like maybe the size of our living room and our kitchen together. Like that's it. And we're like, okay, cool. Let's go all the way to the front. And then I told him, I was like, you know what? I want to be by the wall just in case, you know, they start the pit, whatever. And we did. We went to the wall, and then they get there. And as soon as the music started, everyone freaking took off their shirts. And they were like like hitting each other, like pounding on each other. Yeah. And then after they hug each other. The song ended and they're like hugging each other. And I'm like, dang, America could never. Someone would have some anger issues.
They used to have that with those guys. The wrecking pit when the dudes would get in and they would stop after a song and they say, okay, now it's time for the girls to go. And they would have a wrecking pit.
Dude, we used to play with those guys all the time.
That was pretty cool.
Like, that was
Knitting Factory in Hollywood was...
I feel you know what, like Japan definitely has one of the bigger scenes for sure, but I gotta say that Central and South America, they're the ones coming up big with the scene. You know, like I went to Colombia and Mexico City last year, and man, like fuck, dude, there's so much enthusiasm, there's so much excitement with the people down there, and there's a lot more younger people down there, which a lot of people. I agree too, man. If you really wanna get your name out there, if you want like attention, if you want to grow, you got to get the kids, man. You got to get the young people, the youth back behind you, back you.
All these different cultures, like all these different places have, that they even have a psychobilly scene. That's pretty badass because, like you said, a lot of people don't appreciate it here. But I mean, in other places, it's even smaller than it is here, So it's like the fact that they even appreciate it, they get together and they have a good attitude about it. I mean, that's dope as fuck, I feel like we should start bringing it back and bringing back good music and like just making it stay
that's
here.
That's why we're here. It's our turn to kind of bring it back and again build on Tony's legacy.
That is the goal here. I feel like we should all do that shit. Like all of us together. Like you're doing what you're doing, and together we can throw our own shit.
Hot button question, dude. Why do you think the psychobilly scene? Why does it come in waves? Why?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Why does that happen? What do you think?
We're about 10 years older than Richie because we have a whole different side. We have 10 years perspective. His view and our view. We got a whole. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I'd like to hear you answer that. What do you think? I mean, especially what I noticed in SoCal. It's kind of always been bigger psychobilly scene, compared to NorCal. But I mean, I'm sure you got a better answer than I do.
Personally, you know what, man? Like from what I have seen, because like I said, I'm a bookworm, and like I'm a history geek. But like from what I have seen and heard from people's testimonies, it's a matter. It's a matter of what at that current time is popular, So like back in the early 2000s, like when these guys were playing a lot, and when this guy was going to see them, in the early 2000s, there was a lot more. Just people were into like rock a lot more than they are now. Yeah. Rock music, whether it be punk, whether it be fucking pop, rock, punk, whatever the fuck it is, Like people were just into that shit way more, Like fucking Incubus, fucking.
You know what I think too? There's in the psychobilly genre. I don't think there's enough money in it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's a very obscure type of genre. It's not a lot of money.
Your audience is very narrow.
But I think it's also, from my experience being in the band, it's like when you're being in a band and you're like trying to get shows everywhere. Because at one point, it was popping. It was everywhere. We had shows every weekend. But I think it's the people that are running it before it's, now there's social media. Now there's more opportunities for everybody. Whoever wants to do something, they can if they have the right people behind them. But I think it is all the people that are in charge of shit. Back in the day, it was either you had to go through this person or that person. Everybody knew who that promoter was. I'm not going to say any names, but I mean, it was like only going through this cat or that cat. And if you're not cool with them, then you're off the list and you can't make it. So I feel like now it's like, fuck all that. I feel like if you wanna make it, like say for me, if I want to run my own show, if I want to keep my name popping, then I gotta do work, and I gotta do work with these guys, and we have to go ahead and do our due diligence and go shake hands and make some opportunities happen.
Do you think the accessibility now is a lot more accessible? Like to throw your own show?
Definitely it is. Yeah. I mean, if I wanted to do a show, like say if it was just us and we wanted to play, I could find somewhere to work with, and we could throw just a private show and put it on YouTube.
It's kind of a smart thing to do.
I think we can make our own shit happen, and I feel like, but I think there's enough people out there that like the music, that love doing this shit, that it'll happen on its own with a variety. Like
you know what's something I'm thinking about right now, like for us, like because I'm I'm gonna be 33, so I'm shut up.
Really?
But
you told me you're 27.
I'm taking that we're all in that range, right? Of age.
I ain't saying nothing.
No, because I was in high school in 2004. Like those were the times where I was going to shows. I was going to backyard stuff. You know, anywhere from 2004 to 2008, like was the time. But do you think too that because we were a little closer, because I mean, rockabilly and psychobilly has a lot of influences of like the 50s and the 60s, right? Mm-hmm. You know, hair, dressing, you know, a lot of the things. Like, do you think that maybe too because in that time we were a lot closer to those like eras than it is now, where it's like this huge gap, right? And the only reason I'm saying this is because like on Sunday, I know we talked about it yesterday, but on Sunday we took my niece out, and then we happened to stumble upon like a vintage pop-up, and it was fucking Y2K. So to them, their vintage was early 2000 clothes, and they were like digging for CDs. You know what? When we were digging for vinyl,
annoying. I mean, if they like it, they like it.
Yeah, but do you see what I'm saying? Like for us in the 2000s, we were a little closer. I mean, there was still a big gap from the 50s and the 60s.
That's a great point.
I think it's like every era has its own thing now. Like every has its own like gimmick. You know, so there's markets for everything now. Every 5 years it changes now. So like there's a different thing now. It's gonna get shorter and shorter. But the thing I think about like vintage, like say 50 stuff, is that it's like timeless. You know, like that stuff is really timeless because it survives up until now. Like we're 2020 fucking 3, and we're talking about like rockabilly, like music from the 50s. That's a big ass age gap, you know. And so it's like it's more of a timeless thing. It's not even that it's vintage, like in a sense that it's like 10 years ago, or like, it's a more universal thing.
Yeah, I think because the idea of vintage is still there. Something vintage is something.
You know, people in suits, like
look what happened to new metal. You know what I mean? It was only around for about a decade.
Right.
Yeah.
Only like 3 bands survived from that.
The Mind Buzz is powered by Mind Buzz Media. Mind Buzz Media is an on-site video and audio podcast production company. Have you ever thought about starting your own video and audio podcast? Or do you have an existing podcast that you want to take to the next level? Mind Buzz Media brings a professional podcast studio to you. Visit mindbuzz.org for more. Gotcha. I think it's just one's perception of what vintage is.
For sure.
A 20-year-old might think Y2K, you know, memorabilia is vintage because to them it's vintage, but to us it's not because we lived in that era.
To me, a vintage is a record player.
Right, and then for your mom,
phone.
That's not vintage to her because she lived it.
She lived it.
I have a 16-year-old daughter, and I talk about this kind of shit with her.
You're a father?
She's like, oh, my dad, you're old. Now there's like a whole different, you know, she has a whole different mindset, and her friends too.
Did you ground her for that? I would have grounded.
But it's funny, that's a funny point because it is like, you know.
Have you ever seen they did a video where they're asking the new generation kids, like, how do you talk on the phone? How do you signal talking on the phone with your hands? How would you do it? No, like if you were
That's incorrect.
no, like if I'm telling you, okay, make a hand signal with your hands right now that you're talking on the phone. How would you do it? Right? That's how we would do it.
Can you see?
Yeah,
And the kids now, they just put their palm because cell phones are flat.
Really? They're like this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they talk
saying.
like that. And us, we got to talk through the
I would
one.
have smacked her hand against her face.
She brings up a
Some of
great
these kids,
point.
like, they just need to get, get a little sense of like common sense on the little, like, bah, you know, like you just need to slap them.
Oh, yeah, there's no more spanking nowadays.
Oh,
Parents will get arrested.
she brings up a great point about being, you know, like about what vintage was at what time, you know, because like the rockabilly had a revival in the 80s, you know, in the more like later 70s, 80s, you know, like fucking Stray Cats. I really never cared for fucking Stray Cats, but that was what started fucking the, you know, the US rockabilly kind of revival, you know, and then like
it's like that would be the Quakes, you know?
Fucking the Quakes, or like fucking a really unknown band from the first California psychobilly band fucking started in I think they were like 85, 86, fucking Elmer Shotgun fucking from Santa Cruz. And though, you know, so like it at the time in the 80s, the 50s revival was coming up, you know, and then, you know, in the 90s and the 2000s, you know, like the house, even though that's not really a revival, but like house music is derived from fucking, you know, 70s, 80s kind of like disco. Rapping and hip hop disco. Yeah. Exactly.
I think disco has more
house, you know, so like she makes a good point. Depending on what time you come from, whether it be 80s, 90s, 2000s,
it's everything's due to relevancy or relativity.
You know, it's funny. Like this is also like Western music. You know what I mean? Like this is not shit that's like across the globe.
Yeah.
But there is though, like, you know, bands, some psychobilly bands from Brazil. How the fuck do they even get a hold of?
Dude, I asked
because see all that like Western and all that stuff. Like, think about it. It comes from timeless music. Timeless music would be like folklore. Would be like, you know, you go back to Mexico. It's like, honestly, the music that I make, like the music that I write, that I haven't really played with the old band and this new lineup. I feel like I get to shine out because my theory is like, look, I wanted to take traditional Spanish music, like traditional mariachi music, and then psychobilly the fuck it out, like use traditional like that kind of shit. Where it's like you're gonna know the songs. I don't want to say them, but like when you hear them, you're gonna know like, damn, that's a mariachi song, you know. And you just made it Western, and you made it psychobilly. So that's my thing. That's what I want to do with Zombillyz. So
do you guys think that because right now where you're saying like you know, like Mexican music and things like that, like I mean. Here in SoCal, we see a lot of Latinos, right? A lot of Mexicans that are in psychobilly bands. We're everywhere, right? But I mean, the bands that I grew up with or went to see, and maybe because I'm in SoCal or in LA, that was a thing, right? But I remember one of my grandfather, actually, so I was like 16, 17, and I showed him a video, and he's like, oh, the Tololoche, right? Which is the stand-up bass. So do you think like here in SoCal, like, this type of genre of music, like psychobilly, rockabilly, do you think there's some kind of like, I don't want to say mash, but like, do you think that we kind of gravitated towards it because it has some kind of influences in like Spanish music?
Yeah, because it feels for like say for like an old school Mexican, like say my dad, you know, he'll hear us and it's like he sees the ingredients there where it's like, okay, you guys playing with Toloche, you guys playing with Mexican kind of Western music, and it's like they dig it. I feel like SoCal is where we will grow. Like that's where the music comes from. Is SoCal.
You know what? Not even SoCal, because I remember, again, I'm from the Bay Area. We would drive out here to LA. There was a guy who would, I don't know, he was like a chauffeur for actually the show I saw the Zombillyz again. This is back in 2004 at the American Nightmare Festival. He's like, oh, I know why you guys listen to this type of music, because you guys kind of come from a country town, and we did. It's
Speaking
all agriculture.
Of the fucking mic.
It's all agriculture where we're from, and so he's like, this is why you guys like hillbilly music, and I'm like, maybe. And he's like a city guy. He's like, this is why you guys like hillbilly. Like, you're from the country.
It's Mexican hillbilly. Like,
but it kind of made sense.
That's what it is. Like,
it did make sense.
I think hillbilly just means like paisa, you know, like,
closer,
like,
dick. Come on, come on,
guys. It's like deep throat this thing. Look,
no experience there.
Like
but,
como un ranchero, like a hillbilly, like a ranchero, like someone del rancho.
Saying hillbilly to like, you know.
Oh, I never thought of it.
It is like that. It's the same thing. It's like we say hillbilly, but that means you're from the country. Like, but if in Mexico, like. Eres paisa, you know, like you're from the country, you're from the ranch, you know.
I guess because we like my first thought when you think hillbilly, you think of like a white person that's from the hills.
That you know what? That's a good point too.
Or European, right? Because we can't say white anymore. It's European person.
When people fucking say hillbilly, nobody thinks of music. Everybody thinks of a fucking stereotype of a fucking poor, like stupid, drunk white person.
Jeez, okay.
Yeah.
Great show. Because like, say if I meet a Japanese person and he only speaks Japanese, like I'll make a joke like, damn, that fool was fucking paisa, you know. Like, but meaning he's so foreign. He's from his ranch. He's from his countryside. Like. I don't know. I understood that.
Yeah, because paisa is paisano. You're a paisano from wherever you're. Yeah.
So, it doesn't mean like you're from a certain region, part of.
It means like you're from the mother.
What does paisa mean?
Paisano is like native.
Yeah, native. There
Somebody
you
who
go.
really
Native from
only
there.
So I'm a
speaks
paisa then.
Spanish.
Yeah, you're a paisa.
Yeah, you're a paisa.
I'm 80% paisa. Nice.
Only 80%.
I'm gonna fit that in my bit.
I'm
a paisa.
like fucking with hillbilly, like rock. What is rockabilly? Rockabilly is a mix of rock and roll, bluegrass, folk, and hillbilly music. Like
blues.
hillbilly blues as well. Fuck yeah, dude, blues. And like, what is fucking, it's every genre of music is an evolutionary, I guess, chemical reaction of different genres of music. Like, to be honest, like. For the past like couple years, I've been like in a weird like rut because like I've been fucking in and out of like bands, trying to start bands, fucking
Stop getting kicked out of bands, bro.
faulty
band
like
whore.
musicians that don't really take it seriously, or musicians don't have a heart in it, and like it's really discouraging, man. Like it's really discouraging, dude. So like when I go to visit my family in New Mexico, I found the one guy who plays stand-up bass. They live in a mountain town.
What's his name? Huh?
Fucking Chris.
Fucking Chris.
They're Doso Dirtbags, great bluegrass folk. And like whenever I go up there, I play with them. They don't know rockabilly. They don't know fucking psychobilly. Like when I showed them like psychobilly shit, they're like, "How do you play like that?" And I'm just like, "Dick." This is
And where
fucking
was this from? Where were you?
New
at?
Mexico. They
New
live in like a
Mexico.
mountain town of New Mexico called Ruidoso. And so like when I go up there, I play like folk bluegrass, and I love it, dude. I fucking love it, man. Like I love that shit, dude. Like I love that shit. To be honest, like I got into psychobilly because of rockabilly.
Does it give you a boner?
Fuck yeah, it does, man. Big ol'
Yeah,
hard on,
watch
dude.
out, Tony.
So like, I mean, I just like, to be honest, like I love psychobilly, but like, fuck, dude, like I've been doing psychobilly strictly for like 4 years. I've only been playing for 4 years, and like I'm gravitating myself more now to rockabilly country stuff, you
More
know?
the roots, huh?
Yeah, dude,
That-
like,
yeah.
yeah.
I feel like as a musician,
Well, you got to strip it down.
feel like,
Like,
yeah, as a
versus
musician, you
like
have to do
everything
that.
shiny, psychobilly. Then you kind of get down to the roots of it. and
Yes,
Yeah.
good
You
point.
get to the core of it, and you're like, okay, this
Yeah, you
is the heart.
you figured this is the core of what the psychobilly bass right
Mhm.
is, and it's more that folk
Yeah,
country sound,
Fuck yeah,
right?
because like
I feel like
with
it's- folk from what I would like is like you learn the folk from every like facet of like every style of music that you like. Like say if it's blues, you learn like the old school blues. You
Right.
learn like soul music. I like funk music. Like I love that shit. And it's like learning how to play the roots of every type of music. As a musician, it's like a big Batman utility belt. Like if you learn all that shit, you're a bad motherfucker. Like you know how to play a lot of like, and if you mix it, you can only imagine what the guy could make of. Like
Yeah,
so
and especially something like with like a blues core. Like if you know the 12 bars of blues,
8 bar.
you can play, and if your group knows the same thing,
Exactly.
you can just keep going on. You can keep playing
And then you just
in
make it
those
interesting.
measures.
And you throw a little. Okay, let me throw some Spanish twist on this.
Right.
And then it becomes like, oh shit! Now you guys have a sound, and that's what I feel like this is. Like that's what we're doing.
Yeah, is there a psychobilly band out there right now that has a Mexican sound?
Yeah, Zombillyz.
Besides you guys.
Yeah, of course. There's a lot of those bands.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah, remember we saw them
This
at
guy's
Tijuana
representing,
Mania?
Look at,
Psychobilly
Mexicana.
Mexicana.
Yeah, but
¿Qué es Calavera?
okay, I
Calavera,
yeah, I
that's a
guess,
great one,
I guess,
Calavera.
yeah, that was a
Great
dumb
one.
question, but I'm saying like
I see what you're saying. You're saying like where it still sounds
but this-
like something
right.
like mariachi or norteño or
Right.
something like infused
And
into
see,
You
it.
guys
that's-
need to go
that's-
on Spotify. What the fuck?
Cumbia Billy? I think I heard that shit before. Maybe
Cumbia
people were just
Billy?
talking crap.
You know what?
Dude,
Somebody needs to do that.
We used to
Yeah.
do that shit all the time. Like we had, and I want to
Or
bring
they
that.
just
I
like
wanna bring
Vato
that back.
Billies or something.
Oh yeah, that would be
Well,
sweet.
see, with these guys, we gotta
Feed
do all
my
that shit.
belly.
I plan to do all that stuff. So
Well, I also want to mutate the genre a bit too, kind of turn it upside down. The whole psychobilly, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I love psychobilly music, but I also want to introduce a lot of, I don't
Of
know,
course.
like prog,
Like-
like Mars Volta,
like sex
how they have their
jazz.
own shit.
like porno music and stuff like that. Yeah, I told you yes.
That's you know what? That's what psychobilly needs right now, man. Because psychobilly always was a progressive genre, but for the past I feel like fucking 20 years, like 15 years. It really hasn't progressed much, dude. Like personally, my favorite genre of psychobilly is like fucking 94 to 04. I feel like that's a great 10 years because there's so many bands that were.
It's very specific, bro.
Yeah, well, because I mean, dude, like if I'm not going to really go into all these bands right now, but if you look into all these bands that were playing and releasing music from 94 to 04, there was a lot of different like influences, and you could hear that shit, whether it be metal, whether it be fucking like new wave, because there's a band called The Curtains from Chicago, and they were super like dark wave, kind of gothic, and they're like the only band that I know that really has that kind of fucking sound. There's just all kinds of different bands that had a really different, not stereotypical psychobilly, but I feel like
that.
I feel like for the past like fucking maybe 10 years, it's been a lot of the 80s stuff, the early neo
psychobilly stuff.
Rockabilly. That's great. I love neo Rockabilly.
Right.
Dick, fucking I listen to neo all the time, but that's I feel like
that's where we kind of left off psychobilly.
And like all these bands that are coming out, a lot of new bands only stick with that neo sound. But like you have bands like the Deranged that have a really fucking aggressive, you can't really pinpoint where they're at.
Yeah.
But they have a really aggressive, not neo sound, And like fucking, I don't know, like I'm in a band called the Panhandlers, and we have a mix, Dick. Like we have a couple songs that are pretty neo. We have a couple songs that are fucking metal. A lot of our shit is punk. Like I don't like to say punkabilly, but like a lot of our shit is kind of punk sounding. But like there needs to be some more progression. There needs to be some more creativity. There needs to be some more fucking going through different windows. And I feel like that's what psychobilly lacks.
We should make that a pact right now. Like I want to say, guarantee it right here, live on the Mind Buzz, that we're gonna fucking stir shit up. Like
spitting your hand in handshake.
That's my.
This is,
you have a knife.
This is somewhat of a new project, and honestly, we've been kind of kicking ass, and I'm proud of these guys, and I'm proud of what we've been doing so far, accomplishing, and it's pretty cool.
Because you also have to, like, we've talked to a lot of musicians, right, in different genres, and I think one of the questions I always like to ask is like did it always start this way, right? And a lot of them say no, like they've evolved throughout the years in sounds. Yeah, they keep true to themselves, but also become, I don't want to say relevant, but relevant. You know what I mean? And you start putting these influences and kind of what you guys are talking about, still keeping the psychobilly, but making it true to your guys' self. I think that's also going to help you guys stand out from the rest of the bands.
That's what makes you relevant.
Makes you relevant.
You yourself, you put 150% into whatever you're doing. Like you know what, you want to put yourself, like basically you're throwing your soul out there, and then people will fucking recognize when they hear, like they say, real recognizes real. Like they'll just know, So yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, and especially a hot commodity like psychobilly, like. Is there really shows going on right now?
So there's like psychobilly was really growing before COVID happened. COVID fucked everything up, dude. I mean, like there was a lot of overseas bands coming, and there are now so big promoters in SoCal psychobilly. Checo presents Madhouse. Madhouse he's he's been like here for about a year and a half, but he's bringing a lot of overseas bands. And then Fabian Grave and Papa Rhino.
That's sexy.
He does a lot of shows. Like he doesn't bring many overseas, but he's keeping the scene alive because he's always got shows going. But
that's down to that whole theory that like these guys are like individuals that are like, you know what, I want to do it, and I see them putting work, and like they're all cool as fuck with us. I like what they're doing, but I mean I think it's up to all of us, whoever listens to the music. I mean, like, hey, play a part in it.
Yeah,
like, help us all out. If you're in a band, like make something happen. Make friends with other bands. 'Cause a lot of bands have egos, and they don't fuck with other bands. But it's like, fuck all that bullshit. Like, just if you guys want to.
Does that happen? Does that happen in every scene, or is it just psychobilly?
I'm sure. Yeah, for sure. Even the punk scene, dude. Like honestly, dude. Like I was into punk. I got into punk before I got into psychobilly, and like I was going to punk shows, and like the reason why I kind of drifted away from the punk shows is because there were people like, I don't fucking dress punk. Yeah. Like honestly, Dick, I don't fucking I don't play that part. I don't front.
Dude,
like
Zombillyz came up in a punk rock city. Baldwin Park was like all punk rock.
Remember the Triggers? The Triggers are badass.
Yeah. Well, yeah. My old bassist was like he was.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So like it was a big punk crowd before, and it was like that then too. Like, you know, they never recognized Zombillyz for being in the SGV crowd when it's like, dude, the reason it was bad blood at first was because we used to go to all those punk rock gigs. The first time we played, we just crashed the gig. We weren't even on the flyer. We wrote our name on the flyer. We made photocopies and we passed it out in the school like the entire day. People were like, who the fuck? And we're like, we got there, they're like, who are you guys? We took out the stand-up, they're like, who are you guys? We're like, we're the fucking Zombillyz. And we just fucking played. And we're like, oh shit, it worked. You know, we just fucking played. And dude, the entire fucking gig was a big ass pit. And from that point on, like 2 weeks later, we got our first show at the Showcase Theater. It took the biggest punk rock band in that city over a year to get that show, and we had it in 2 weeks. And from that point on, they kind of hated on us, and we were never accepted in there. And up until now, recently, we just got cool with the whole SGV punk crowd. Now they were like, hey, you guys are from the SGV too, and you guys were around when we were around. And we're like, yeah, we've been there, but did they ever talk to us? No. Now we're cool, but it is like that. Everybody has egos, and nobody wants to work with each other.
Another band that was kind of like that, like exactly what he said, was called The Strange. You know, like a lot of people don't know this band called The Strange because they never put out music and they were only around for a few years, but they were fucking psychobilly. Like they were a hard psychobilly band, but they only really played punk shows. They turned into the Catacomb Rockers. The Catacomb Rockers still like, they fucking, there's like, the only psychobilly thing is a stand-up bass and the fucking stand-up drum. Like they're fucking hardcore. Like they're badass, heavy-ass band, but you know, they started The Strange, and they also just played backyard punk shows. And I feel like the reason why psychobilly is in such a small circle, why it doesn't go out to other people,
because we're all old.
Not that. Yeah, that is
my back hurts. My arthritis is acting up, and I'm not.
His back, yeah.
That's a factor, but the thing is that like psychobilly stays within psychobilly. Like if you want to grow, you have to play different shows. You got to play metal. You got to play punk. You got to play new wave.
But I also think like if we like feature it in projects, like video projects, or like people have it, you know, indie films, because Quentin Tarantino has that style. But it's like if more people were like that and got the scene into those kind of projects, I think like it could grow. Like it could definitely.
Yeah.
I think with the power of social media and the power of the numbers and power of the fans of psychobilly, we can grow it back to where it was. But I think the bands need to be all included in that, right?
And also, another beautiful thing about psychobilly is that it's really underground. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's kind of what these
kind of do like that.
fuckers like. Exactly. It's a
we
whole.
We kind of do want to be underground too.
It's a whole.
Oh, come on, guys.
What do you guys want? Wait, hold on. What do you want? Do you want it to grow or do you want it to be small?
That's the thing about psychobilly. It's like you want it to be popular,
we want to sell out, but we don't want to sell out.
time,
you know?
yeah.
Unless it's for a lot of money, then we'll sell out. You know?
Well, I'm just thinking because the new flyer is a reel on Instagram. That's the new flyer.
Yeah, right. Fuck, I didn't think about that.
It is. It easily shareable. I mean, I get it. Like, of course, we will all want to stay underground, but I mean, I don't know. It's a different time right now. I don't know. Just depending what you want the outcome to be, you know, then you can tailor.
Well,
that.
We all have rent to pay and we have to feed ourselves. So
there you go.
You know.
Yeah. If you guys like to donate $1 to the Mind Buzz and the Zombillyz,
the link will be down in the description.
Just $1, guys.
In my pocket here, or his pocket,
or in my Tony's
pocket here.
Dang.
So you guys, we all established, right? You guys like psychobilly, you guys live psychobilly, you guys breathe psychobilly. But what's a song that's like your guilty pleasure that you probably are a little embarrassed to play on a loudspeaker, but in your headphones?
Yeah, Como la Flor. No, I'm not embarrassed to play that song.
But what's your guilty pleasure song?
What? Like one of our songs? Or?
No, like in any genre, any Paquita del Barrio, you know, something, I don't know.
Chalino Sanchez.
I'll bump shit fucking proudly.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of weird shit, honestly.
Yeah.
I do.
But one song that you're like, makes you cringe a little, but you like it.
That's how you're putting me on spot now. Like my girlfriend the other day, I was playing to her like all my music, and she's like, "Man, you have fucking crazy ass music because it's all over the place." I don't fucking know what the fuck to say.
I could answer that if it was a movie. Twilight.
Okay.
You're the band.
I gotta go.
You're
Sorry.
The band. Fuck. Okay. Give me an example. Give me yours because I don't.
Mine. Oh, I'm not really embarrassed of anything.
See?
Okay, but I guess my guilty
Nickelback.
pleasure one is like La Chona. Like I know it from the beginning.
but that's just dope though. I mean,
But no, but I know it from like word to word, like from beginning to end.
But like, do you bump it like at a red light? Do people like pull up?
Yeah,
to you and
like
be
I'll bump it. I'll put it in my headphones. Like yeah, so that's kind of like my guilty pleasure song. Like
You know what? For me, like I don't know, like I love Incubus, man. Incubus is a shit, and like I played Incubus for a lot of people, and if people are like, "What the fuck is this?" But like Incubus, they're the shit, man. Like they're a progressive ass band, dude. Like from fucking first album to the first like 5 albums are just like all over the place, and they're fucking great, you know.
I have an answer now. Okay, so it's sorry, I was just thinking about this because like there's some music that I listen to like that I listen to like for my on headphones and shit like, and I never realized like if I play this for someone else. And I'm playing this, and they pull up at a red light, or if I'm just in the car,
Yes.
like it would be fucking weird, right?
Yes,
So
yeah.
like, there's a song like say the old school version of "Young and Beautiful" by the Brian Ferry Orchestra. I swear to God, I fucking love that shit. It's
Pull it up.
Pull it up. It's
It's
"Young and Beautiful" by the Brian Ferry Orchestra.
So I know what Richie's talking about, but I have no clue what you're
See,
talking
that's
about.
what I'm saying. Like it's like if I play this in a car with you, if you're in the car with me and I play this, you look at me like, what the fuck are you
Young
doing?
and
Like,
Beautiful
by
by
the Brian Ferry Orchestra.
Lana Del Rey.
Not Lana Del Rey.
that's what I thought.
No, see, I'm talking about the Brian Ferry.
What, did she cover that song?
It's Bryan.
Bryan.
Yeah, that
Oh,
first
right
one
here.
there. Yeah. And look, if you listen to that, if you listen to that, you'll see why it's weird.
Oh, it's from the Great Gatsby movie.
But I honestly love.
You could put it on the TV, Amber. It's fine.
Yeah.
See, I love that
Yeah.
that line right there. I love this kind of shit.
And then just put up the volume.
Can you
This is
see
my
it?
guilty-
On the
this is my
top.
guilty pleasure shit. But see, like sometimes I'll bump this in my car and I'll put the windows up so that no one else can hear that I'm listening to this, you know?
Fuck, fucking make other people listen to it.
But I like this shit. I like this shit personally.
Oh yeah, I like this.
Okay.
Yeah, but I could
But
see
it's
someone
kinda
like
weird, right?
rolling up
if
to
you
you
pull up
like.
at a red light, people are like, you're in SoCal, and there's some trolls next to you, and they're like, what the fuck are you doing?
All right. Well, now pull up the Lana Del Rey version. Is it the same one, or
I love
does she
Lana
just
Del
sing
Rey.
on
I
that?
mean, you know,
But I kind of like this version.
it's a dope ass version. It's a romantic version. I feel, you know, like it's.
Okay. That's not too bad.
Yeah,
It's not weird enough.
Oh, whatever.
No,
guys.
but I
I
can
mean,
see.
you know, it is. You know.
Okay.
What else do you got?
I know the real song, so I will never be caught playing it on a speaker. But Rebelde, you know the group Rebelde.
Yeah.
So them. Only in my headphones.
I don't think I have one. Well, I don't know. I think I go through my phases.
I think right here in this group, like we're all like music heads, so like we have some weird taste already.
Dude, I've been super into Smash Mouth lately. You have no idea.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, exactly. After I heard, what's his name? Can we pull up his name? I've been listening to his music for the past week, and I don't know this guy's name.
That's the same like somebody wants.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta cover that song. Guys.
Actually,
Dude, their 1997 album. I just talked about this last night, right? Their 1997 album is really good. Like that. That's when they had a good. That's when they had a very heavy influence in ska music, bro.
Steve Harwell.
What's his name?
Steve Harwell? Oh no.
Steve. No, Steve Harwell's a piano player.
Yeah, I seen. Where's his name?
Smash Mouth singer. Unless he played piano and the.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah,
Oh,
this
okay.
is him right here.
Yeah.
Talented? What?
He was multi-talented, bro.
Do you guys all play multiple instruments?
Hell yeah.
Nope.
I play a badass triangle.
I play the maracas as well.
Fucking kazoo. No, but
Anything percussion?
in all seriousness, I mean, I can definitely play bass and drums and guitar.
Stand-up bass or electric?
You can't play
Yeah.
for shit.
Nah.
I'm actually teaching Richie here how to play the bass.
Dang.
Giving him some lessons.
Play
Goddamn rookies.
the empty beer bottle.
There we go.
Trying to get him to play on spoons. We were talking about spoons.
spoons.
You know?
Hey, you know what? Tony played a badass skin flute on me the other day.
Damn.
I seen that.
Man, that fucking popped my top. Let me tell you what.
It's really the
Hey, I gotta be honest with you. Going back to the topic of psychobilly, so I've been into psychobilly for quite some time now. All right, again, my 34th birthday is next month or next fucking week.
No presents,
Sorry,
please,
I need
no
another mezcal shot. For about I don't know, about 8-9 years, I was kind of mad at it in a weird way because the fashion and the music kind of they coexist.
Right.
And a lot of people were doing it for the wrong reasons. And it kind of upsetted me and it kind of embarrassed me. And I had a quiff back in the day. Now my hair's falling out, but I had a quiff. The hairstyle, you fucking dick. and I saw a lot of I don't know, we're just assholes. I mean, posers or psychosillies. And that kind of killed it for me for a little bit. And I think I could speak for my buddies back at home as well. It kind of turned me off about the whole psychobilly scene for a bit, and I was like, "This is kind of everyone's just doing it for the wrong reasons, for the fashion."
Hey, let me fucking give you some knowledge,
right?
Here, you know.
And then I thought, there's nothing worse than being in a scene. Like, what the hell's that about? Like, just be yourself. Why do you have to wear creepers to call yourself a psychobilly or have a quiff or whatever?
No, honestly, you make a good point because that was. Same conversation I had with somebody at the Rockets when I went to go see the Rockets a couple of weeks ago. I got there, I was wearing tight jeans. Shut up, Amber. Tight jeans. I was wearing a Jimi Hendrix shirt.
Right.
I got Dalek in the last of my name, right?
What kind of psychobilly are you?
And I had some
Taps.
Nike running shoes, right? Because we were just coming from a party. I had chanclas.
He had chanclas on before, so I
You
made
can't
him
wear
put
that when you
shoes on.
play a show, Tony.
Right.
You can't wear fucking.
So I walk into the venue into Chain Reaction. A buddy of mine was there, and
Oh wait, you fucking rocket straight from the grave?
yeah,
Hey, fucking, I played that show.
you were there.
I played Straight from the Grave for 2 years. That was my last show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think it was. I have some.
He's a band horn.
I have video. I probably have video footage of you.
Back to what you were
But
saying.
we were there, and then a friend of mine was like, "Oh shit, it's Gil! Like, what the fuck? I didn't know you still listen to this music." And I told him, I was like, "Bro, Psychobilly's in here.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's right. That's right.
Psychobilly is in here."
That's right.
And I'm pointing at the Zombillyz t-shirt.
He had dad jeans on and everything.
No, but I think it's true. Like
But
if
yeah.
I'm usually like right now, I'd probably be rocking a quiff or a pompadour
If it was socially accepted.
if it was socially accepted and I was able to get a job. back then. But I mean, I don't know. Like there's some days where I'm just like, fuck, I want to grow back my quiff. Just a small little quiff.
Get a fucking wig and just fucking rock that shit. Dude.
There we go. That's what we need.
You know what? If it's small enough, it could pass for any job because it's basically a flat top.
It was small enough. What are you talking about?
If a quiff
Yeah.
is small
Never
enough,
small.
hey, don't be sensitive now.
He's self-employed. What the hell is he talking about?
Dicks.
That's why I like what I do, because in my field, I mean, I kind of picked the creative field. I mean, I do multimedia, so I mean, I could look however the fuck I want, and do what I do. So.
But I think it's like our generation now that are in the working, kind of fields or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
we all have tattoos and colored hair, piercings. Like, it's
We all need to get
acceptable
face
now.
tattoos, yeah. We just need to get
It's
face
just it is what it is now. Like,
Oh, they're from San Jose too, bro.
Yeah.
Whoa, I didn't know that. Sorry, I'm still stuck on Smash Mouth.
I know.
He's all singing it.
Well, because you didn't let me finish. 1997. Check out there. World is gonna roll me.
I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
1994 too, and then they came out 3 years later with that album.
I'm telling
That
you,
album was
fucking-
really awesome. Just saying.
It's
I actually
insane.
saw Smash Mouth in San Ramon.
Yeah.
That's I think East Bay.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, I did. Not because I wanted to.
Oh yeah.
No, I was doing a live
Girl made
painting.
me do it.
I was doing a live painting, a mural, and they were it was a festival, and they were playing in the background at a
He paints naked people.
like a golf
on any
resort. What is it
mural
called?
you want.
Like one of
Country
those-
club.
A country club. It was at a country club, private. It was really cool.
So I mean, to piggyback on what you were saying, dude, I think that had a lot to do with the wave of psychobilly and it's the
style.
culture, the style, the beef between bands, the beef between the audience members.
It's funny because it's like if you see
Promoters,
if you were to go to Hot
venues.
Topic and you see like a Goddess Wicked Creeps record for sale there, it's not that cool. You know what I mean? It's not that cool. And people were kind of doing that as far as like they're dressing and 1 week they're like this and the next week they're like that. It's like what the hell are you making a mockery out of like what we're actually into?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude. Fuck,
And it kind of turned us off for a while. At least it turned me off for a while.
Because you know what, man? You just got, like, fucking, just add what he said. You got fucking assholes who just buy a fucking shirt just because it looks fucking cool. Oh. And then, like, I'm going to be that asshole right now. Be like, hey,
I'll sell Zombillyz shirts whoever's buying one, bro. Like, what the fuck you talking about?
You're like, your grandma won't.
I'm going to be that dick and say, like, oh, yeah, what's your favorite album? They're like, oh, I don't know, this song or whatever album. And it's like, all right, well, fuck, you know what? Take the fucking shirt off, dude.
I think that's the hardcore musician psychobilly.
But do you guys think of yourself when you first entered the scene? Were you as hardcore into it as you were 5 years into it?
Even more now.
I was more hardcore back then.
What I'm saying is, like, when you first entered, right, you only had certain things that you saw as reference to what you thought was.
What she's saying is that we were all posers at one point.
It's true.
I was like a punk rock kid before I got into psychedelics.
Because maybe the older generation, the people in psychobilly and rockabilly that were 10 years older than you guys at that point were probably like, these fucking kids.
But they see us now and they're like, fuck yeah. Actually, they weren't posers.
Now they do.
Hats off to those motherfuckers.
I understand what you're saying. I completely get that side of, like, not being judgmental, but then again, like, I was that band. You know, that's for me being like, I was on stage with all the fuckers that I was. But I do get what you're saying. Like, you gotta, like, that's why I say, if you see somebody like give them fucking knowledge and, you know, make them cool. Like, hey, look, if you're dressing like this, you might as well learn about this shit. Here it goes, you know, and teach them something.
Yeah, absolutely.
I fucking, like, I used, like, you know, like, when I first found out about psychobilly in high school, like, I used to listen to fucking Tiger Army and Necromantics. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, to be honest, you know what's weird? Like, because at that time, I didn't like Los Catalepticos. I didn't fucking like Pagan Dead. But, like, I feel like, I don't know, man. I just feel like the more you listen to it and the more influence you have from other genres, the more you appreciate different music. Like, I appreciate different kinds of music much more, especially metal. I never liked fucking metal. I like metal now. And that's because I played an instrument. I picked up the fucking bass, taught myself, and I just decided to fucking try and branch out and, you know, play along to different fucking types of music. So, like, when that happened, I dropped other bands like fucking Tiger Army and Necromantics. Like, to be honest, they're great musicians. No doubt, they're great musicians.
Those are the gateway bands of
they
psychobilly, by the way.
They are, dude. Like, fucking...
They're the marijuana of psychobilly.
You know, like, Demented or Go, I'm not talking shit on them, like, but they are another one of those bands that are, like, you know, the Hot Topic bands, you know, that fucking everybody knows. A lot of people know. Because they just have that specific sound. But it's the same kind of shit. Just like Necromantics, like Tiger Army. It's the same old shit. And you're just like, man, yeah, fuck that, dude. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm one of those assholes. I'm a hater. I'm a mad fucking hater. And I just came to, I told my girlfriend this.
And he's
year,
the youngest guy.
No, I feel him. I'm with you on that.
You can't be that angry.
Sometimes we kind of punk this guy a little bit. We're like, Tony, really, bro, that's a little corny, bro. Shut the hell up.
I came to the conclusion this year, and I told my girlfriend that I came to the conclusion that I'm a fucking hater, and you know what? I'm not gonna deny it anymore. I'm a fucking talk shit.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
a talk fucking shit.
I listen to these guys bitching, and I'm like, what? I'm not gonna listen to these kids. And I'm like, whatever. I've been doing this for 20 fucking years.
Yeah, this guy's the man. I'm telling you, when I saw him, blew me away. So it's kind of weird because shit that I really dive into in my life, it really has to fucking mean something. And when I saw him first time, he never left my mind, man.
Story about how
he never left my mind.
That's cool,
and it's fucking awesome that I'm now drumming and we're bandmates now.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's amazing.
First time I saw them wasn't that long ago. It was 2018 or 19.
Maybe at the radio show, right?
It was the Radios. So a band from Japan came down called the Radios, and I actually fucking, whenever I go to Japan, I've been twice and I'm going again. Whenever I go, I make it a point to see them because they're the first Japanese people that I really connected with. But they came and played, and the Zombillyz opened up with their OG lineup. They've only had two lineups, their OG and us. And when I saw them, I tripped out just because their drummer, he was also a stand-up drummer, but this guy looked like a fucking gangbanger, dick. This guy looked like he was from the fucking, like, Los Cataranas or Los Nietos. Like, this guy just looked like he was like a fucking hardcore, like, he looked like he was gonna fucking press me, you know?
We have a history, and maybe that's why the first lineup didn't work a lot. I mean, it really was the way that you guys see it, like, shit happened, and we, you know, rock and roll hit us early, and we all got into our own thing, and that's why, you know, it didn't work out. And I feel like I've always been, I have had my heart 100% into this, and I've always wanted to do this, and it was kind of hard to do with guys like that. So, you know, I need people that are putting their soul into music, and these guys are the guys to do it. So
when did you find that out? Like when was that moment where you're just like, you know what, like it's not about all this other bullshit. It's about the music that I want to make.
I felt like I wasn't growing, and it was starting to like stress me out. Where it's like, dude, like I have a lot of shit that I want to do that we're just not doing, and it's not growing. And I'm having all this music. Like now, I find myself playing alongside some Mexican folklore music, like I do, and it makes me a better musician. And I'm like, if I could put this into psychobilly, dude, it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be a brand new sound. And I'm talking about like Mexican folklore, as in like Los Cojo Lights. I don't know if you know who they are, but it's like awesome shit. Like it's dope. So early on, I mean, this must have been like at least 10 years ago, maybe, 10 years ago, where I started seeing like, okay, this isn't growing anymore. And I've just held on to this, and we're at the point where we're going to make it happen now.
You know, another band like Mexican folk, like, to be honest, dude, like fucking my sister danced folklorico when she was a kid, and like for my first 4 years growing up, we lived with my grandparents, and they're from Durango and Michoacan. And you know, I heard all kinds of Mexican music, and to be honest, Dick, I never cared for it. A lot of people hate on me, but I never cared for like norteños, fucking rancheros, all that shit. But one kind of fucking Mexican music that I dug, besides fucking rock and español, was like Mexican folk. Like he was saying, there's this one band called fucking like Tlen Huicani.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, it's a trip, dude. Like they're just like, it's Mexican folk, but it's beautiful fucking music,
it's like
man.
Jungle music in a way, where it's like,
Really?
it's like cumbia. You have to listen to this kind of music.
It's
Can you
beautiful
pull it up?
music.
What is it? What is it called?
Give me one band that I can type.
TLEN.
TLEN.
Yes. Right there, first result. Huicani.
Tlen Huicani.
So this is, and I'm glad that we're like
go
Richie
down,
and I
go down.
kind of like we connected on this level where it's like,
La
yeah,
Bruja.
you know what? Secretly, I am doing this shit. I am learning from this kind of music, and I'm glad that he's into that. Everything happens for a reason, and it's aligning. It's aligning. So this is, you know, if we can make the psychobilly somehow, this is gonna sound evil and dope.
Yeah,
You know?
I can see that. Oh yeah.
And this is like going to roots, and this is like you're talking about. Think about it, in psychobilly. Oh my god, bro! I'm hard right now. You know?
Oh.
Please stand 5 feet away from me. Yeah.
Oh.
And it's like Veracruzano music, right?
There you go.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like the harp, right?
Dude,
Yeah,
yeah.
actually the harp. That's what I'm saying. We gotta get a fucking harp.
El
player.
bandolón, stuff like that.
I mean, I don't know if this is an original of theirs. I think it's a fucking cover, but still.
This song, everybody covers it. Like it's
Yeah.
like one of those.
This
It's
one?
one of those folklore music where it's,
Yeah.
like, it's forever.
La
you know?
Bruja,
Nobody
yeah.
knows who fucking made it. You know.
But that band right there, that's the fucking one fucking Mexican folk band that I fucking love. And he showed me the band that he just mentioned. Like, he showed me them. And fuck, dude, like, those guys are wicked,
Dude,
wicked
they're
musicians.
bad, dude. They're called Los Cojo Lights. It's COJOLITES, Cojo Lights. You guys will love this music too. If you guys like this stuff, COJO. It's JO.
Oh, sorry.
COJO, Cojo. The other man is,
LITES.
like, I don't know, like.
Yeah,
I
El
don't know.
Cascabel right there. If you look at the Cascabel song, like you'll see these guys are just the first one. These guys are just amazing musicians. They're just amazing. And this is
10-minute song, but the thing is, like, it's fucking always changing.
Yeah, it's like this is when you get into like think about like our roots. If we were like Aztec warriors or whatever the fuck, like this is the kind of shit you're like, oh damn, this is that music. And they're like fucking like they're like musician masterminds at math and everything, because you could just hear it in the temples. It switches up and you're like, what the fuck just happened? But it's all about style, you know, it's style, what fits into this rhythm, changing it up to a different tempo. It's fucking all science. Like, so we can make this rock and roll. That's our challenge right now, you know? How do we make this rock and roll?
I have like to hear that.
Because I want to represent. I do want to represent for our culture. You know, I want to represent for our culture, but I also want to bring in like, okay, there's rockabilly and shit. There's a, you know, the American side of it, but let me bring in. Let's see if we can fuck things up and bring in the Mexican culture or like Hispanic culture into psychobilly.
Yeah.
And make our own thing.
That's what I love about music, dude. You can just take one thing and just influence it with another type of culture. Like it's super easy to do that.
Do you guys know La Mano Negra?
Amber,
You guys heard of that?
What is it?
Fucking La Mano Negra. Fuck, I don't know what the guy's name is, but so like I've heard from a lot of people, like a lot of Hispanic Mexican people, there's this band called La Mano Negra, and it's not exactly folk like that, but it's different. It's, you know, it's Mexican music, and so like I think they're from Spain actually.
That guy's a hitman. What are you
I
talking
may be
about,
wrong.
dude?
No.
I may be wrong, but
Is it these guys?
yeah. So like the singer of that band, I found out about this band because of a side project they had called Los Carrayos, and he had a side project called Los Carrayos or something like that, and it was crazy because they played with a mandolin, stand-up drum, but the drummer had one stick and he had like that feather kind of stick. What do you call that?
The jazz sticks, right?
It's
Like a whisk type deal.
yes, like a whisk type thing, and it's great fucking music,
So
dude.
what you're saying is that we should get a kazoo player, a fucking triangle.
It's just
player. Do you wanna
fucking
play triangle?
great
I
music.
can
Like,
pick
you know,
it
at
up.
the very end of the song, just
I can
But
pick
the
it up.
bassist, so like in that side project, they had los corrayos or los corrayas. I don't know what, if I can't remember exactly, but they had a upright bass, right? And he was like, it's crazy because all these guys look like straight, like conquistadores. Like all of them look like a different style, but that stand-up bassist had a quiff, just wearing
No way.
straight. He had a quiff. And he was wearing straight, just plain black
So he
tee
was a psychobilly
and
disguise.
jeans.
Yeah.
So he was the only psychobilly guy in that band. That isn't what
and that made them
funny.
all psychobilly by
By association.
Los Cor-
I need a song with like one song with
By
like an,
them?
like
Okay.
like an accordion or something. You guys need to make it happen.
But you know what? Accordion is like the top dog in the musician world. Like if you know you're better than everyone else. I don't give a fuck.
Papa.
Like you're better than everyone else.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to have an accordion fucking song because
Do you guys know the band like Kinky?
No.
I heard
No,
of them. But
yeah.
it's
So
not
they're from like Mexico too, but they're like rock en español. But I wouldn't know how to.
Oh, kinky.
what-
Yeah.
Yeah, so they play live and they have a stand-up bass and then they have an accordion player and then they have an electric guitar and the drums.
See,
and they mix like that Mexican,
like we should do
like
that, like-
norteño. Yeah,
I feel
like
psychobilly should have like there should be a show where it has psychobilly and like that band. You know, like that band should be like one of the headlines, but it should also be like other psychobilly bands on that same bill. Like I feel like we should do variety shows too. Where
Yeah.
it's like, hey, everything that could be mixed together. I feel like it's more interesting that way instead of having like an all psychobilly show. I feel like it's more interesting when you have different types of music, including a psychobilly band.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
You know?
Fuck yeah.
They
That's
usually
way to
do
grow.
like a punk versus psychobilly.
Yep, that's
or
what
everybody
ska
does,
versus
right? Yeah,
psychobilly.
exactly. But I
Ska.
feel like, yeah.
I'm
that,
sorry to interrupt
they
you.
just had one like that a few weeks ago.
So
right?
like fuck man, ska and psychobilly.
but
at
it was like one
point-
psychobilly band and the rest were all punk rock and
Obviously,
ska.
psychobilly lost. No, I'm just kidding.
At one point, like ska and psychobilly were fucking neck and neck. Like when psychobilly was really popping down here in SoCal, like psychobilly and ska were just like brothers basically.
And it was
They
that
were-
ska core stuff too.
Oh yeah, there's that ska core
yeah.
as well. You know,
yeah, like all the shows in East LA and
But
South
it goes back to, like,
Central,
Compton.
But it goes back to culture, right? It's like it's the Mexican culture. It's like that's what it really was. It really wasn't like ska versus it wasn't even the music. It was more like they're both big in our culture. Like
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
like we'll accept that music. Everybody likes it. even
I
if
went
you're not into
to both type of backyard shows,
Fuck
ska
yeah.
and psychobilly. You know, it was like 2 different weekends, or even if it was one weekend, we went to one, you know, at the beginning, and then we freaking booked it to the next one. Like it was just intertwined at that time.
it. I feel like it should be like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
What happened?
I don't know. We got old. We all got old.
We fucking suck. We fucking suck now, guys. As a society.
Internet
Richie, it's all
fucked
up to you.
everything up.
Fucking internet.
Internet fucked everything.
It's
up.
the internet. It was COVID.
Yeah.
What else was it?
Hot topic.
fucking
Hot topic.
hot topic.
What's your What's his beef with the Hot Topic, dude?
Because I like Hot Topic.
You know what? Fuck those guys. They print shirts of bands without like
Their consent?
They could print zombie shirts. I mean,
it's just okay. The type of people who go to Hot Topic are not the type of people who go to support local music. The type of people who go to Hot Topic just to fucking have this kind of image. You know, support your fucking local music, support your bands, dude.
I'm gonna go leave stickers at Hot Topic.
Dude, I used to fucking, I'm kind of ashamed to say I'm not there anymore, but dude, I used to fucking. Like,
work at Hot Topic.
I used to look for fucking the next show. Like I used to look for the show. I used to go to shows. I'm sure we all went to shows. We didn't know any of the fucking bands. We just went to go fucking support, dude. And like like I remember like at one point my sister's like, you need to get some more band shirts. And now I only fucking have band shirts, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta sell some of this shit because my drawers are overflowing with shirts because I buy shirts of bands that I don't even know. I support, man, because you know what? Like, if you buying one T-shirt or one CD or one patch is worth more than fucking 2,000 streams on Spotify. Like, fuck that, dude. Like, I have bands that I don't fucking even listen to on Spotify, but I'll buy their shirts.
Yet he doesn't have one of our shirts, you know? Oh, you want...
He hasn't bought his own band tee.
This guy don't have my fucking size, man.
They have shirts.
The Zombillyz.
Not the Zombillyz, not the Zombillyz, or whatever. People are always butcher our name.
Yeah.
It's like saying shirt, zombie. Baby. You know, it's Zombillyz.
Unbutton your shirt, baby. Let me see that.
But yeah, I mean, I'll have some shirts. Gil's wearing our newest version of our shirt. Oh, we got buttons, we got tangas, we got G-strings, we got all kinds of shit.
We got stickers también.
You gotta make some mandiles for the carne asada.
Hey, an apron, yeah, that's
a carne asada apron.
That's a dope idea.
That's what it is.
I'll take you up on that, and as soon as I make one, you are getting the first print. I
Got it.
It's a dope ass idea.
Hey,
you're gonna have to invite us for the barbecue.
Okay. I'll
That's
barbecue.
fine. That's fine.
I can make salsa and everything.
Sounds good. Hey, can you make a molcajete though?
I can.
Damn.
Amber can make everything. She surprises me, dude.
Good job.
Hey, you know what? Man. Birria, man. I've been like for the past 3 weeks, month. I've been trying to find a taco stand with birria because like
I have plenty that you can try.
Dude,
I was on that bench too.
All right, you guys play, and I'll make you guys birria.
What was the last? There was a holiday recently. What was the last holiday that happened? There was a holiday that happened a few weeks ago. What was it? 4th of
July. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
President's Day?
Before that, there was some kind of bullshit holiday. It might have been Labor Day.
Mexican
so like
fucking
I think it was Labor Day, right? So like on a Sunday night, I went to go out and look for a taco stand, and I found this taco stand, right? And they had birria, the best fucking birria ever.
And you know what?
That spot, I've gone there every week, 3 times a week, just to see if they're there, and they're not fucking there anymore.
They probably got busted in the recent fucking raids for.
I'm pissed.
Taco.
Such good birria, man. But like,
dude.
fuck, dude. Like, god damn, it's so good.
Are you really on Tinder right now?
I am.
He's on Grindr. Don't get that.
Really on Grindr?
Don't get it twisted, dude. Don't get it twisted.
These guys are drunk. Never give them alcohol again.
Yeah, sorry, but that was my bad.
One more little splash?
You want a little splash?
I think it's a customary thing that we should all have a little splash.
I think so.
I was scared at first, but I'm feeling good now.
Like, you know, it's basically like our
Yenala.
raw. No.
No, yeah.
That's really
You're gonna
good.
have to buy the bottle,
Thank you
bro.
so much.
Sponsored by Firme Mezcal.
They're all getting
Mezcal
Ubered.
from-
Okay, listeners.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm driving y'all.
I've got AA after this.
I was seeing my grandpa in Stuttgart.
Salute.
This is actually a
Prost.
AA podcast.
Thank you for having us on the show.
Yeah, Deutsch.
German.
Salud.
Prost.
Shot it or sip it?
You
No,
sip it.
I'm
It's
on
mezcal.
Ooh, mind buzz.
Oh yeah.
So where I'm really into genealogy. Where are you guys' families from?
So I'll start off first. Guanajuato. I'm a momia,
My mom's
dude.
from out there.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, I'm a mummy. Amber, where are you from?
My mom's from Ensenada, and my dad's from Sinaloa.
Yeah.
Stitch?
Gangster.
My mom's from Guanajuato. My dad's from San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 3rd generation San Francisco.
There you go.
My pops is from Jalisco, and my mom is from Oaxaca. So
Nice.
Oaxaca. Great food in Oaxaca.
pretty cool backgrounds, you know.
That's cool. That's awesome.
What about you, Richie?
So like my dad's side, my dad's first generation. His mom's from Durango, and his dad's from Stuttgart, Germany. My German side is very strong. My German side migrated from Switzerland in the 1600s, and
Were you on Ancestry.com?
Was this 23
No.
me or what?
How do you know this?
all right. You want to know how I know this?
Family tree. What is
All right, it's kind of fucked up. Long story short, in 1943, the Gestapo thought that my family was Jewish because our last name is Jeremias. It sounds biblical, Jeremiah, very associated with Jews. So they gave our family a certain amount of time to prove our German heritage, and that's how they found out that my family migrated from Switzerland in the 1600s to Germany, before Germany was even a thing, you know. But my mom's side, my mom's mom has been
Like
Chicano.
my mom's from East LA.
Yeah, exactly, dude. She went to fucking Garfield.
Oh, did she
Like,
do?
they're from LA. Like my mom's mom,
She
like
probably knew my tias, dude.
my mom. My mom's mom has some Native American. The sad thing is she don't know a whole lot about it, but I know that our Native American comes from Arizona. My mom's dad, they come from Zacatecas. So in 1920 something, my great grandfather was born in like the high desert area, and his parents were from Zacatecas.
I gotta do some research because, like,
Dang,
see,
I know. He knows a lot.
Because, like, my family doesn't fucking know that far behind because we're like, I'm first generation. My parents are from the motherland, and I'm from here, so like, there is no records. There is no records. Nobody fucking knows, you know.
I said East LA because I recently met like someone Gil's family, right? And then his aunt was like, "Oh, you're like Mexican."
Mexican.
She told me, right?
East LA.
Yeah, no. And then I'm like, "Oh, where are you guys from?" She's like, "I'm from East LA." And I'm like, "All right, that's cool." You know, she didn't know history because she was second generation as well, so she didn't know like, you know, where they were from. But I think it's really important,
But it's
right?
crazy because it's like a big part of American culture to be from like East LA, because that's like it's kind of weird. It's like the beginning of like Mexican culture here in the States. You know, it's like, that's like hardcore. Like, oh, you're East LA, you're kind of like troll. You're
Yeah.
that's
Tony, let me ask you this: like, as your first generation,
I'm first generation. Yeah.
how do you, when people ask you if you're Chicano, what do you tell them?
See, for me, I understand the term. I understand. So I say I'm not from that era, but I know what they mean. Chicano means like you represent Mexican culture, but you're American. So
We're all Chicanos.
So technically, yeah. So technically, you consider like, yeah, we would definitely get along with the Chicano crowd. But do I consider myself Chicano? Like, I just can't say because I'm not from that time era. But I understand what they mean by that. Yeah, I am in a sense, but no, it's not my time frame. You know?
That's exactly how I feel.
Okay.
This is an ongoing conversation that we've had, and this is something that I've been battling with. Is like, I don't identify as Chicana. Like, I wouldn't say, oh, I'm a Chicana from Paramount. I'm not. I'm Mexican.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I'm first generation. My lineage is a lot closer to, like you said, like the motherland, where I don't feel that
the things that you do at home is from what your parents know. And
It's Mexican.
It's Mexican.
It's not Mexican American. It's not American. It's
It's
Mexican.
pretty fucking Mexican. And people look at me like people, you know, like sometimes they'll be like, you're not Mexican. But like, dude, you have no idea. I may dress or look a certain whatever, but you go to my house, or you know, if I invite you over for a barbecue, we're doing Mexican shit. Like, we're eating salsa, we're eating chiles, we're eating some bomb food.
I'm not Mexican because my Spanish is fucked up. I can't really speak Spanish, so
You're no sabo.
I'm not Mexican.
Oh, don't tell
I heard that shit my whole life. But I guess I'm not
No
Mexican
sabo
enough.
power.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, he doesn't
All
speak
right.
Spanish either.
All right, we're
not alone.
We're gonna teach you motherfuckers, right?
I don't know if people will agree or people will fucking bash on me for this, but I feel like I am Chicano too, because you know what, dude? Like, there's prejudice by non-Hispanics, and there's also prejudice by Hispanics.
Yeah.
Toward
other
us.
Hispanics.
Yeah.
Because like, what is Chicano originally was a fucking like derogatory term made by Mexicans to fucking call the people who stayed in the U.S. when
like
it
a
turned,
pocho.
But
yeah, exactly.
Right. But it also is like, that's why I say like I agree with the, you know, Chicano, because it means like you're an activist, and whatever it is, it just means you have that.
Right. I think it's just like what your perception is of the word.
Exactly.
Right. Because when I think, or I used to think, what a Chicano is was a person that was in the lowrider culture that
like a cholo.
Exactly.
Like
that was what I thought it was. But I mean, up until recently, I read or listened to half of the Chicano movement book. Now I kind of understood it from a more political standpoint. So I learned it from that. Now it's just taking all those that information and assessing it to see whether I would call myself,
or you make your own version of that, right?
Or you make your own version. Like, it's hard. At least for me, I'm third generation. I don't speak much Spanish, but now being influenced with Amber and her family, being from, different parts of Mexico, it's now, I think, as long as you're taking in the information and just assessing it, whether to see if you're not. I feel like this whole identity thing is weird.
I feel like, and for you, since you are doing something, you're doing something creative and doing something that like is good for our culture.
Yeah.
Whether being Hispanic, you're a person that can make a good impact on our culture. So it's like I feel like you should take on things like that, where it's like you are Chicano in a sense, and you got to make your own version of that, and then you say to people like, yeah, you know what, so and so, I agree with this because of this, but because you're a person of influence, person that does something that could better our culture, I think it kind of is our duty. Like, say I'm in a band, and that's why I have my own version of this Chicano, right. What I think it means. It's like we have a duty to our culture.
Yeah, because we try to polarize it. We try to polarize Chicano. Like, it's either this or it's this, and there's no in between. Yeah. But that's crazy, because how many Mexican Americans are there in Southern California? There's a lot.
100%.
And it's not yes or no or wrong or right. Like, it's not polarized. There's gray areas.
That's a good point. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, and I was gonna say too, I like you were saying about like prejudice wise, I get the word Chicano, I get where it came from, I get that they honed on it, and it's empowering to some people, but it's also like for Gil, like he doesn't speak Spanish, but he's 80% indigenous Mexican compared to me, that I speak and read Spanish, and I'm closer to my roots, but DNA wise, I'm more European than I am Mexican. That's and I don't think it's fair that because you're third generation, second generation, you should feel that you're less Mexican.
Yeah.
Your roots, your DNA is more. It comes from Mexico, so you're Mexican. Like you shouldn't
Spanish
have to
is easy to learn. We'll show you all the bad words first.
Try to tell that to the paisano guys, and when you work in the fields, because I used to work in the fields and drive tractors, and they would talk shit to me.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, I wish they all had that same mentality.
That's
because there's no way.
There's
no way. I get capped on all day long.
Man. And now you're in a fucking cool ass band, so
That's a great point what Stitch said, because like I never really I always called myself fucking Mexican, like even though I am like 25% German, and that German blood is strong, like I always fucking called myself Mexican. Like at one point when I was like 13, I wished I was born in Mexico just because I could be more Mexican, but like now I identify myself as Chicano because like I've worked in kitchens as a cook for the past 2.5 years. And I speak with only people from El Salvador, Peru, Colombia, Nicaragua, Mexico, and my Spanish has increased significantly, a great amount. It was my first language, but when I was in elementary school, kids would make fun of me because I spoke Spanish. So I stopped speaking Spanish.
You wanted to assimilate.
Spanish to English, kids would make fun of you because you spoke Spanish.
Yeah. So like, and then I'm 25 now. So like in 23, 22 years old, I started to embrace it more. But even now at 25, when my Spanish is better, and I still get I still get dirty looks. And like I still get like people saying shit, like whether it be like to my face or whether it be like around behind my back, like just in the kitchen 4 feet away to another Mexican that like fucking like his Spanish sucks, or he's a fucking pocho, or he's a no sabo, like Mexicans themselves will still talk shit on me because my Spanish ain't right.
We're dicks.
Yeah, they're like.
And you know what the shitty thing is too, like fucking. fucking Mexicans are a fucking crossbreed, dude. Like, we're indigenous, but we're also fucking European. Mexicans are fucking European mixed with indigenous, whether it be Azteca, whether it be Maya, or whether it be
Maya, bro, Maya.
whether it be one of the 24 other indigenous groups of Mexico. You know, like, you're not fucking. People say, "Oh, you're not. I'm more Mexican than you because I know Spanish." Like, no, motherfucker. If you speak Nahuatl, you're fucking indigenous.
Yeah,
badass.
you're really a Mexican.
Yeah, dick. You fucking speak Nahuatl to me.
Wait. So what's the Spanish word for turkey?
Pavo.
Guajolote.
Pavo.
Oh, shit.
What did you say?
Guajolote.
I thought it was pavo.
No, I've never used pavo in my life. And then when I heard that, I was like, what?
Wow. See? What the fuck? See? Great example.
We say pavo when it's cooked.
Okay.
Oh,
And
see,
guajolote is the animal when it's alive.
I didn't know
I
that.
didn't know that either. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, like Thanksgiving, like el pavo. I'm not gonna say, "Oh, mira el guajolote on the table." You know, it's
Yeah.
el
Because
pavo.
that means it's alive
It's
and
a-
hanging out. Yeah.
like, whether I'm right or I'm wrong, I don't
weird.
know.
Yeah, that's
but
interesting.
that's how the because I know both terms and we don't.
Yeah.
You know, it depends on.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I
It's
feel like we should all just fucking everybody love everybody, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
man.
agree.
Get
We're all
fucking
human
along.
beings. We're all human
Yeah.
beings, dude.
because we all live amongst each other, but yet it's like we always have to prove ourselves.
And
because
what we should take in is like, hey, we must be related somehow because you're a fucking asshole and so am I. Like, we're all fucking assholes. That's a common denominator. We're all fucking assholes. Like,
Yeah.
we should know that we come from the same place, you know?
absolutely.
That's why aliens haven't fucked with us yet.
Because they see
Because
us
of
stupid
that.
Or
we are.
maybe they're even more assholes, and that'd be pretty cool to fucking
No, where
see.
they're
Like,
experimenting
damn, that,
gone wrong.
Yeah.
damn, they're fucking assholes.
Yeah.
They're good, you know? Like, damn.
What do you think about that? Have you guys been following the alien stuff?
Aliens are made out of tres leches cake.
I saw that meme. I saw that.
But what I was thinking is like, yeah, it's true. Like, who the fuck made E.T. and how the fuck did he know so much? Because it looks exactly like E.T. you
Yeah.
know? Like,
All right. All I gotta say.
Oh, that
is,
the Mexican one that they found, the mummified one.
I mean,
That's
but-
all bullshit.
Can you pull it
dude.
out?
Nah, I don't think it's bullshit. Like,
Yeah, it is.
there has to be fucking life other places. There has to be like,
So
and it's like if we were the smartest and we go to another planet and like when we see like, okay, they're not as advanced, so like, what do we do with them?
A lot of these
You have to
people
let them.
are-
You have to let them advance on
I'm
their own
jumping
because
on
we
the
can't
hype
scare
train,
the
dude.
fuck out of them. Like,
Come on,
I
why
would
all of a
just say
sudden
Yeah.
in the past
I feel you.
2 months
Yep.
it's been like, oh,
Right.
aliens
There it
exist.
is.
Right.
Come
He also
on.
I'm not
looks
saying
like
the best.
Yoda.
I'm saying like there has to be for sure like in history, Mayas and all that shit. Like where did they get their knowledge from? There
Oh,
has to
yeah.
be for sure.
So they're saying that this is an actual mummified alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
One up
1300 years old, and they took X-rays of it, and the X-rays are scientifically proven that it's not just piece by piece. It's all a singular skeleton.
I believe-
Singular
I mean,
skeleton
what is it to
meaning.
deny about that? I mean, I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, they fucking made it up. It's like
Because
no,
it
for
cut it
sure.
in half and it was a cake.
No.
I
Singular.
mean, I want to taste that cake first, you know.
Fuck. Okay. Like, I don't,
But
I'm
what's so ridiculous to find out? Like if they, yeah, I mean,
I'm a
would you be
mad.
surprised?
I'm a mad conspiracy theorist. Okay. So like when the JFK in 2017, 18,
Here we go. We started him again.
hundreds of classified documents called the JFK files were released, right? And I read like a lot of those files, right? This is before I played music, so I had a bunch of time on my hands,
Before I had a
right?
girlfriend, yeah.
So
I
like,
discovered masturbation.
whether you believe it or
I'm
not,
still developing. Yeah.
in those files, it stated that different governments around the world work with different types of extraterrestrials because
course.
you'd be kind of dumb to believe that there's only one kind of alien. Like there's
Of course,
different,
just like us.
there's different
races,
species.
you know, yeah.
So different governments around the world work with different species of extraterrestrial beings, and you know, like the fucking Roswell fucking UFO crash, that was 100% fucking real, and we took that technology and we fucking
That's what we
we-
made the
Is the
stealth
president
bomber.
is a president reptile?
the
I mean,
reptilian
Trump
shit.
is definitely a reptile.
No,
Trump is definitely a
our
reptile.
president's
So
a jackass.
So how crazy do you get on your conspiracy level? Like,
Can
is
you
it-
ask me a question?
What's your position on flat Earth?
That's
a great question.
that
dude.
is a great question.
The more
dude.
we're getting closer to
Fuck that
whatever,
question.
is I'm thinking we might live in a flat
Dude,
Earth,
you know what? Hey, man, honestly, math is a trippy fucking thing, man. Like, when you look at the mathematics of like distance and like, I don't know, dude, it's fucking
I think it becomes more a question of okay, we're talking about dimensions
Or like that.
and like
You know, you
Our
can't
perception-
pass like a certain height. Like
yep, yeah.
You just crash into something and it tears a hole.
Or the Atlantic Treaty.
Okay, but
the
has there been
Atlantic
any
Treaty.
proof of like that happening to anyone?
Hold on. One thing at a time.
The Atlantic Treaty,
Richie,
the Atlantic Treaty in like I think it was 1950 something. There was the Atlantic Treaty signed by a bunch of members of the United Nations stating that civilian and commercial aircraft or seacraft cannot pass a certain point of Antarctica. Why? Like why? So there was an expedition. The U.S. not only the Nazis but the U.S. military after World War II led an expedition, and it was a full-fledged expedition. There was there was like infantry and armored vehicles on these vessels, on these seaborne vessels that went into Antarctica, and the admiral who was in charge of this expedition stated in his diary that they were attacked by.
He actually went through some of his reports. Mm-hmm. He actually went through wherever he was going, and it was like a completely
Stargate kind of thing.
Kinda, yeah. And there was a completely different the landscape was different. There was animals that resembled mammoth, woolly mammoths.
What about the Philadelphia Project? Then you're talking about like
Oh, that's a great one too. Philadelphia Project.
I think all these things like in this world, like as things are like new theories are coming along, and like personal experiences that people are having, like including myself, it's like, dude, the world is full of possibilities and it's endless about like what is real and what can happen, what kind of realities are happening at the same time. So I really feel like it is up to the individual. Like people can manifest their own shit, and there are things that we don't know about and things that are real that
like those fucking lasers that are like
the blue beam shit, like all that bullshit.
Oh my god, that started the fucking Maui fires, dude.
And then
exactly the blue, exactly.
Somewhere else recently too got like attacked or something.
But like I'm sure that all these theories are like actually some truth, and like they're all happening at the same time. They're all like just like Philadelphia Project, just like what you're saying, flat Earth bullshit. Like I mean, the Earth is not flat though. I mean, it's some bullshit. We're not gonna fall off.
Right.
Yeah,
it's square, right?
It's
Can we meet in the middle and say it's square? Don't be no.
Be a square.
The people back in the day were right. They said if you went too far, you just fall straight off. Hey, they're right, man. They're fucking right, dude.
I know a guy.
I know a guy.
Over a wall.
Hey, there's a movie that Jim Carrey's in. There's a movie that Jim Carrey's in where he's like fucking. He's on a sailboat and he's like setting sail.
I think it's, the Truman Show.
I'm not sure, but he runs into like a fucking
the end of it,
a wall,
right.
and it's a wall that's painted as like a horizon, and
because he was on a show the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, I watched this when I was like 6 years old. I can't remember,
but that also I'm sorry. Go ahead. Complete it. So to go back to what you're saying about this alien, can you pull it back up, Ember? This alien looks exactly like the alien from E.T. So there's this thing that most of the world the big moguls in entertainment knew this information already.
I'm sure someone knew it. Someone knew it.
What they call it is predictive programming. So they're getting us used to the idea. Like the Simpsons, then, for example. Exactly. They're getting us used to the idea of aliens. So
it has to be, because why do you think like up until now that they're talking about this, but that the governments, why would a government release this unless they're talking about some bigger shit like hey, we found some crafts? Because
they're giving us
a small shit like, oh yeah, they do exist. Yeah, no shit. Like you guys are talking about spaceships that you guys probably found, and the governments are fighting about it, so they're releasing it to the public. Like, hey, let us give you the smallest trickle of fucking knowledge that we know. Let's start off with they're real, and then what we're really talking about is a fucking like war going on, but we're gonna say that they're real now. Yeah, that's why I'm not surprised about this shit. Like,
a lot of it's all cover up. A lot of shit that goes on.
Yeah, like you think the government's really talking about like really wants to release? You think the Mexican government?
Hey, what about all these fucking mosquitoes that are like genetically modified? And
dude,
have, everyone's getting fucking stung by mosquitoes right now.
Oh my god, I just seen a video. Sorry, I was eating chocolate. I just saw it. I know. They're right here.
We have chocolates.
I don't want to eat it on camera.
It's spooky season.
I just saw one where they grab the mosquito, según, and then they lift up the wing, and he's like numbered.
Yeah.
Oh,
saw that
It's
today.
fucking crazy.
So in
Can you
2000,
pull that up? I want to see
it
it.
was on the news. It was on the news
one too.
in 2014. It was on the news, dude. The 2014 that they publicly announced that they were releasing genetically
eating a
modified
candy on-
mosquitoes to attack and counter this this foreign bound mosquito, to try and like counter this mosquito, right? So like got fucking haywire, and now these GMO mosquitoes are just
they're
fucking
like
everywhere.
literally letting them out. There's like footage of like
Yeah, dude.
helicopters letting them out.
No,
They're-
just like COVID. I mean,
They're the little black and white ones.
Right?
Black and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their legs are like black and white,
Mm-hmm.
and they go through fucking like clothes and shit.
Yeah, so they-
it
so
fucking itches.
I saw
Pull
a
that on the
video.
screen. Put
you
that
got
on the.
bit. Get away from me.
I saw a video the other day that they were saying, well, this is the theory behind theirs, right? What they're saying about the thing is that this mosquito
What?
came,
Yeah, look at that.
yeah, that it came from overseas in like containers, you know, because you bring stuff, and that they didn't see it as a big issue, that they weren't like multiplying, and now they're like out
I'm
of
sure-
control.
Yeah.
So now they're trying to like control it, and then they say that some of the breeding grounds are in your car, so that's why sometimes you're driving.
Dude.
especially in
And
road
your
cars.
ankles, your
Let me
ankles
tell you
are
real
all,
quick.
yeah.
I have my only car is a '67 Volkswagen. Every fucking morning I get in there, there's a minimum 6 mosquitoes floating around in
I
there.
have a 56 Bel Air. Like it's they're all metal, you know. So like it's same thing. You go into that fucking car, there's mosquitoes.
Why?
and
Why?
who fucking knows?
Yeah, so they're hatching eggs at a faster rate than your regular mosquito, and then now they're so evolved that like regular mosquitoes, you know how you can get bit like on your arm or your finger or something like that, right? So they're saying that regular mosquitoes are kind of dumb, where they're gonna bite you in a place where you can see them, you can swat them, and these are a lot.
yeah.
They're a lot smarter.
Yeah.
So they only fly from your knee down,
They're
so that
genetically
you're not
modified. They're
able
modified,
to
What
see
we were
them.
talking about before, they only like feast on birds and animals. These motherfuckers
They're smart.
But it's like no shit that these are government.
Yeah,
government
they have shit inside them.
government
bro.
projects.
There's
Like for sure. Like it's stupid that we don't already red flag. Like, hey, you guys are bringing a shipment of mosquitoes. Hold on, that might be a fucking red flag. Like.
definitely.
Obviously, it's a government fucking thing that they're doing it. Like, how are people that
I think
fucking
to stop
stupid,
this kind
you
of
know?
shit is this awareness. You gotta.
But let me ask you this: what is the like? What would be the purpose to
Like, what do they get out of-
genetically
Well,
modify
Either it could
mosquitoes?
be mass genocide.
No, it's just
Trying
it's
to
just
clear out
for
population,
this-
just
for
like
this-
what they're doing with the lasers.
Well,
and-
just for this kind of thing is like how do you spread something like how do you spread something quick like
True.
a mosquito would obviously
yeah.
would spread any kind of disease or whatever the fuck that the
So
government would
they're
want
just
to spread.
they're
And-
trying these out
and you
first.
can't really blame nature. Like that's one thing that they've learned. Like even with the weather modification, like you can't really blame the weather, but it's like now you can because because they
you
do
can make
that
a tornado,
because you
you
can
know,
make a
you can
tornado.
make
Yeah,
the
you can make clouds.
rain.
You can
Weather
make
modification has been a thing since the 1800s.
yeah, exactly. But in their eyes, it's like really when people say it, that's why like the American news. They're always so sarcastic about shit. Like
Yeah.
when Mexico said, "Oh, there's aliens going," like, and they sound so stupid about like that's what American is. America is trained to fucking have that kind of like fucking
Second guessing kind
Yeah,
of
have
idea.
have that sarcastic feel about everything because you can't fucking blame the weather. You can't blame like the nature. Like yeah, you can when that's what they're doing. Like
So, it was a few days ago, maybe last week, some major news station finally announced after a couple independent sources had been already covering it for a few weeks that a few people in the United States died of the West Nile virus
Oh yeah, I seen that.
directly linked from mosquitoes.
shit.
So, I mean, there's something there. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
remember
as he
when that
was
came
saying.
out.
Yeah,
That was
right?
a couple
right?
years back.
Or remember when fucking Ebola, the big
the mad cow
Ebola scare?
disease?
Mad cow
Dude,
disease.
he-
Cow.
I
E. coli.
I think it was like
Hey,
2000.
I actually
E.
knew.
coli,
I
I
actually
remember that
knew
one.
someone
Remember, like, when the
that
stinky lake
that
came
died from the
The what?
from the stinky lake. From mad cow disease.
No shit.
Yeah, so
Really?
it was in the late 90s, and she was my aunt's neighbor, and she got a worm from eating like meat, and the worm. So those worms that the animals carried, your body didn't digest them. So
Like tapeworms
the
and shit,
worm,
or-
almost like a. Well, no, it was tiny because
You know
I
what's
see
crazy?
the thing.
Like you're saying this right now, it's like, and it's kind of like making me kind of paranoid because I've been seeing a lot of shit about like
Making him
parasites.
paranoid, Ember.
I've been seeing a lot of things about
Yep.
parasites lately,
Yep.
and it's like
shit.
it's like I'm pretty sure that something's going around right now that most of us we don't know it yet, but we probably have some kind of worm inside of us.
we
or
have
some-
live parasites.
Yeah, but like I've been seeing that a lot lately, and like recently got into like studying, like being a student of the universe. Like, you know, things come to you for reasons, and like if you really like listen to things, like we all have that antenna. We all have it. It's just that, of course, you know, with how things are going in social media and how things are going, and like, yeah, it really is where these guys have figured it out, and they're making us susceptible to mind control. But besides all that shit, like, we all individually have this fucking antenna to the universe. Like, things talk to us, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? Miracles happen, and like some weird shit happens, but that's our inner shit working. So, like, we know when things are wrong, and right now, yeah, there's some shit going on behind the scenes everywhere. And I think we should all just kind of like listen to ourselves now. We should all
this Chicana girl. She's a mom, actually. Just a few days ago, she became a fucking quadruple amputee. All 4 limbs were amputated.
Jesus.
From
At the same time?
I don't know. At the same time, it was all from the same thing. So she went into the hospital because she was feeling fucking weird.
She got like an infection,
severely sick, and it was from a bacterial virus from tilapia. They directly linked it from tilapia that she had for dinner.
It was fake tilapia, though.
All 4 limbs. It was farmed tilapia.
Right.
All 4 limbs were fucking amputated. And
Which
she's a fucking
almost all
mom.
tilapia is farm.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
crazy.
Honestly, dude, like...
It's not even a real fish, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
It's
okay.
fucking... It's
Sounds fucking fake.
like sushi, dude. I love
Tilapia? What
sushi.
kind of fish
Yeah,
name is
stay
that?
away from it.
I think everything and anything can kill us.
For sure.
That's it.
Jeez,
We
she's
just-
just
I
a
mean, especially,
ray of sunshine.
I feel like
Tony Robbins, ladies and gentlemen.
especially in heavily populated areas like metropolitan areas like Los Angeles, like Portland, like fucking New York, like Miami, places like here, it's really hard to get really trusted, organic, locally fucking grown, safely harvested and grown food. Like, if you're somewhere out in the boonies, like fucking Omaha, Arkansas, or fucking Ruidoso, New Mexico, or, you know, places like this, it's a lot easier to find safe, grown, and harvested food. But here, it's so easy and accessible to get fucking In-N-Out, to get fucking Mike's
But
Burgers.
that's why I think we should take accountability and be like, hey, like, if we work at those places, or like we know, it's like, hey, it's like, it's our duty to fucking to say something, or like, hey, make sure that this shit is safe, because very quickly, if you get one person sick, very quickly, like 10,000 other people are gonna get fucking sick very quick, and then those 10,000 people will get other people sick very fast. We seen that with COVID, like, and you know, it took a lot of people. I mean, I had family like impacted from that. Like, we lost people, so it's like, I think people should like really speak up on shit like that, or really like take people, hold people accountable for all that shit.
You know, like fucking Whole Foods, like people go to. I personally, like, I'm not gonna deny that I'm one of these fucking assholes, but like, you know, there's all these
You're an
people.
asshole.
So you're an asshole or you're not an asshole? You're confusing me, Richie. I don't know what to do. Are you an asshole or you're not?
So like, you know, like all these people like fucking go to like, oh, I only go to farmers markets. I only buy locally sourced food, right? Like, okay,
I know that girl.
That's fucking it's great, but like, you know, if you go to Sprouts, fucking or what's that, Whole Foods, like
Asshole Foods. I used to work with them.
Whole Foods and fucking Ralph's were fucking caught advertising their shit as California grown, but it's fucking shipped from China. So imagine what the fuck they got to do to this fruit and vegetables to make it last the shipment on a sea vessel.
Right.
Have you seen those watermelons now? They just take off like the peel of it, and it's not even a watermelon.
It's a zipper.
Yeah,
You
it's
just
like-
zipper open a watermelon.
Yeah, dude. It's just,
No, I
it
don't
looks
know.
like the skin of a watermelon, but it's not.
Dude, I've
It's like
gotten
raw.
some apples. I've gotten some apples that like
look like apples.
they look like apples, Dick, but straight up, I've just rubbed it on my t-shirt for like a minute and a half, and like the fucking it turned
an orange.
It
Your
turned a solid-
grandma
it
was
turned a
like, "Those
solid
are my
color."
wax decorations."
Solid color. And
It's all dye or
it didn't taste right. It didn't taste right. So I'm like, what the fuck? And like,
Damn.
you know, the codes, the sticker codes, all those sticker codes mean a different thing. They mean if they're shipped from overseas,
I'm
they
just
mean
thinking, like, what kind of asshole company,
like
or what
the
kind of
PLU
asshole just
code?
made that?
yes,
Like, what?
yes. Super.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
They're called Monsanto.
That's right. That's right.
Monsanto.
Fucking dude, my fucking opa, he fucking died from this lung shit. I never knew my real grandpa from Germany. I met him when I was 20, and he died like 6 months later. So the hospital said that he had some previous lung problems that was led all the way back to some fucking pesticide, Monsanto pesticide.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, my grandmother passed away about a week before COVID hit, and she got cancer, and she worked right there in Huntington Park. She worked at a factory that they used to do like fake Christmas trees. Mm-hmm. So she worked there for 20 years, and then once she passed, we got a hold of other people that worked there, and there was at least 8 other workers that worked within her time frame that all passed away from cancer.
That's some crazy shit.
And I remember her telling me, like, she's like, yeah, we used to have to wear masks because of the fumes. She's like, but there was days that there was no masks for us to wear, and they would just tell us, like, do it. And this is, the 70s and 80s, so there was no regulations. There wasn't, like, it was just like
That's
work.
crazy. You would think, like, after they find shit out, like, when it's like, what asshole, like, like, when you single people out, like, okay, what asshole was in charge of not telling people that? Yeah. And it's like, those people should be fucking crucified or, like, stoned to death. Like, we should all fucking stone them to death. Like, throw rocks at them till they fucking die.
I think
like,
that they didn't think it was like harmful. Like, look in the 50s when women used to smoke and they were pregnant, and doctors were like, everybody smoked indoors. Everybody smoked while pregnant.
That's
Doctors
because it was
smoked.
cool, I mean.
But they didn't.
That's
know.
why I smoked, because it was cool.
But they didn't have the proper like they didn't have anything to fall back on to see, like, hey, cigarettes are really bad for you, right? There was nothing like.
But with these private companies, when, like, it's like someone had to know because it was kept a secret for so
Everybody
long.
knew.
Like,
Everybody knew.
At a private company, you kind of have to kind of know, like, okay, something's up here. Like, yeah,
it's just about the fucking profit margin, dude. Why are you gonna spend $2 to?
But still, I think that asshole, because he's getting a better wage than everybody else. Like, once we find that shit out, like, I feel like, we should go and tarnish their fucking entire family fucking name, so that people don't do that shit anymore.
Let's first start with Mitch McConnell.
Some of the,
There we go.
the Marlboro cigarettes, you turn them upside down. You guys ever see that?
No.
You turn
I don't
down
smoke cigarettes, bro.
the cigarette, the Marlboro pack upside down, and it spells out Ojical Jew, which Ojical is a term that the Nazis used to use against Jewish people. And if you fold the box a certain way, you can spell out KKK on the box.
What?
So that's
folding
another
dollar
form
bills.
Yeah,
that shit.
Oh, the dollar bills that were the.
Or like the $5 bills that were really 20, or what was it? The $20 bills that were really $5. That's not.
That's money laundering.
I have a lot of that shit at my.
No,
my
That's
area.
called fraud, Tony.
That's fraud, yeah.
No, when you were able to
I hang
bend
out with
the bill, and then
Yes.
it was the Twin Towers, and it was like
Towers on fire.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Damn, we're coming up to 2 hours now.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun, huh?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the back of a $20 bill on weed?
There we go. Before we head out, so what's in the future for you guys?
Zombillyz, that's a good question. I mean,
We have one song. We have one new song that's pretty much fully written. We have another new song that's in the works.
Pretty much, we're going to focus all our energy on making all the stuff that we're talking about. Like, we want to incorporate this new style of rock and roll that we're doing. Of course, there's going to be a lot of new content. We want to rock the fuck out. That's what we want to do. So that's in the works. Yeah, if anyone wants to work with us, I mean, feel free to hit us up. I mean, we are going to focus all our energy on making new music, and we want to record some shit. So up until now, we have nothing on Spotify, and I like to keep it that way, because if I've held on this long to not sell my rights to Spotify, I want to do the Nipsey Hussle thing. Like, if I can sell my fucking track for whatever, like whatever amount I can, it's like, I want to keep all my shit mine. And until we have our records out, like, yeah, I want to sell them for ourselves instead of through Spotify. If I've held out this long, 20 years, I might as well just do it on my own,
We a release that eventually, as he said, we're gonna record, and eventually we're gonna have a release, whether it be an EP, LP,
I
fucking.
think we're talking about like a 3-song EP. Just to get
at least for
known
for this year,
So they
like,
could-
or do like in Mexico, a flash
hopefully
drive.
by the end of
yeah.
this
So
year,
we
we'll have a song.
want to do that. We want to take out nothing but hits, but 3 songs at a time. But
Okay.
but make sure that they're fucking hits.
What as they're saying, by the end of this year we're gonna have something out for fucking sure. I can't say for sure if it's going to be this first release that we have, but we do have like something in the works with Bad Billy Records out of Germany. Bad Billy Records. They're going to, release whenever we are ready, whenever we have a certain amount, that we're comfortable with, and the material that we're comfortable with. We're going to have a record, physical vinyl record, out of Bad Billy Records.
Nice. Let's throw a show, guys.
It's gonna be Psychobilly Green, of course.
Let's throw a show for sure.
Let's do a show.
And we're doing a fucking show at the Mind Buzz.
Yeah.
There we go. Perfect.
Hey, we have some connects.
Yeah, if
We can work together.
honestly,
And
Like I said, it's up to us. It's up to the people that are doing shit
yeah.
to make things happen. So
Yeah.
I have fucking full faith in you guys. I have full faith in us.
You're in my mom's backyard.
No, no, no.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking Chino.
Hey, I got a kegerator, dude. So it's all good.
How's it like here in Chino, real quick? It's my first time ever coming
A lot
out.
of metal.
No, I don't know. We spend all
Roll metal?
our time over there, out there in Paramount or North Long Beach, dude.
But we buy eggs from an
Yeah.
egg farm.
Long Beach.
Yeah. But as far as like Pomona, I moved out to Pomona when I was 17. So over a decade ago or less than a decade ago. But that was like late 2000s.
But he's from Whittier.
But I'm from Whittier.
Whittier?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Gangster.
We
Yeah.
here.
The girls
Whittier.
are prettier.
That's
I
right,
hear.
dude.
The girls are pretty.
Hey, they don't lie, man. They don't lie.
Yeah, so I grew up in Whittier and then I moved to Pomona. I mean, downtown Pomona was pretty poppin' back then, but not as much anymore. Like the Fox used to, they used to have really good shows at the Fox and the Glass House, but not too much now.
It's chill.
Yeah, it's cool. What do you think? One more question before you go. What do you think about this new Zombillyz genre that's coming out?
So
It's
I
like-
think it's part of the revival stuff. Like,
Yeah?
why not? Bring it back. It helps us all out because it helps.
It helps the rockabilly
I think-
crowd, right?
I think, like I said, it's the whole timeless thing.
Mm-hmm.
If the fact that people are still into it, great. That's cool. Bring it back. Make it brand new. I have nothing against it.
You're talking like Duran Jones and Los
Duran
Yesterdays, right?
Jones,
okay.
Trish
that was
Toledo,
Yesterday's?
Jackie Mendez,
It's
Adrian
kind of-
Carmine,
it is kind
them.
of like a revival of Motown oldies.
Yeah.
You know? And honestly, dude, like
It's really
I
good.
love
dude.
It's kind of cool.
I love
Yeah.
it.
The
It's
scene's
good
cool.
shit.
It's like it's part. Like, again, it's part of it. It adds to our culture. Why the fuck not?
Yeah, of course.
It's good shit. I love
Yeah.
it.
You like
I've
it?
been to a couple
cool.
shows and it's cool, man. It's good vibes. Like I love it. It's great.
And shit, we might become a fucking Zombillyz band.
There you go. And if you like Zombillyz, you can enter in our giveaway.
There you go.
That was a segue for that.
There you go. That's how the fucking masters do it.
But Stitch, Tony, Richie, go ahead. Do you have anything to talk about?
Zombillyz catch us on Instagram.
Stitch.
We always post our flyers. I'm on Stitch.
Talking to the mic.
Mr. Stitch on Instagram. We got Zombillyz Instagram. We got
Richie Revolutionary.
Richie Revolutionary, but like I said earlier, I'm in another band called the Panhandlers. SoCal Panhandlers, all one word. We got a couple shows going on. We're probably gonna get some shows, combined shows, Panhandlers, Zombillyz sometime soon.
Mind
so.
Buzz, Mind Buzz, fucking Stitch, Rock,
There you go.
fucking Revolution, all that shit, all of it.
Cool.
Cool.
Down.
Anything else?
I'm unemployed. Follow my Camel page. It's the Camel Closet. I sell fucking authentic military camouflage.
Fucking camouflage, no one will be able to see you.
That's right.
Oh, really?
Like camouflage clothing?
Yeah, authentic military issued camo from all around the world.
Oh, okay.
All around the
Pretty
globe.
soon he's gonna have we're gonna have Zombillyz fucking entire
There you go.
camo.
Stitch, you're a tattoo artist too, right?
We do tattoos and paintings and murals.
He'll pierce your clit.
There, oh, shit.
He's already pierced mine.
Damn.
a clit.
Hey, it's a pronoun. What?
There you go. Pronouns. Get them right.
Fuck all that.
Thanks you guys for coming out and doing
Mind
this.
Buzz.
I appreciate it. What else? Yeah, this was good.
Drinks.
Yeah, man.
The
It was a
lovely
lot of fun.
conversation and
It was
the
really cool.
alien talk and fucking theory talk.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Good. I'm glad.
And we haven't smoked weed yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
there we go.
Yeah, I'm looking for city jobs, so I'm taking a break over right now.
A post smoke.
So see you guys.
Wait, they still test you? They're
Yeah,
still
dude,
testing
serious.
from
I
THC?
think it's gonna be another like almost year until they don't in California.
In
Pretty
California.
shitty,
In
right?
California.
Califas.
Why are you mad, bro?
Follow the Mind Buzz on Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else?
I feel like the song is going on really
It
long.
feels like it's going on for a long time.
Just follow us. Follow them.
Bernard, did you add to our song at the
He
end?
infiltrated the...
Peace.
The Mind Buzz.
That go longer than
I
Bye.
think you have to cut all this shit off.
Thanks for listening to the Mind Buzz podcast. Subscribe to the Mind Buzz YouTube channel and watch full podcast episodes. Keep up with the hosts, guests, and upcoming events by following the Mind Buzz on Instagram at the Mind Buzz. See you on the next one.